see me with it. Another week or will be not.
Get it while it's hot.
I stand back and I watch you explore in perfect visions like I've been here before. Falling faster, I try to ignore. I see you, I see you. Memories show that I'm out of time. See a shadow, don't know if it's mine, but I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you.
I just turned 18, saw your whole life in front of me, and I know one day I'd miss cleaning up the cold tea. Now I'm sitting there singing broken heart, helplessly I'm praying, blaming God. Ooh, she told me don't worry, very soon make three. Doctors and friends and family. When it was time to leave, there was only one, and it was me. Got so good at looking next to you, next to you. Couldn't bear the thought of something new. She told me don't worry, we've been apart before. The world's part of heaven, we'll be waiting for you once more. She told me don't worry, told me don't worry now. Told me don't worry, told me don't, told me don't. My fear gets the best of me. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. I didn't know I was a casualty until you stopped my heart and you made me see I need love. I need love. I think I need to confess. Saw you in the red dress. I can't seem to understand.
An exciting weekend is ahead of us as we head into the North American Invitational. This, though, is day one where we get things all started off. I'm LeafX. Cole is joining me, and Spaceman is as well. We're getting down to the end of this specific regional, Spaceman, and things are still tense.
You would think that at this point we'd have an idea, a clear indication, some clairvoyance about what's going to happen. But no, this third regional is going to be as insane as the first two. And it just means that we're in a sticky situation for a lot of teams fighting for points. It's going to be chaotic.
Cole, Rocket League.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It is indeed Rocket League time. It's the Rocket League, yeah, fair point.
That's what we do. Well, let's take a look at where we are in the landscape of everything right now as we trudge on through the season. It feels like it's going so fast, though, Cole. We're into that Invitational of the winter split, and the only thing now ahead of us in this winter split is going to be that major, but we're past that halfway point for all these regions now.
Yeah, I mean, starting fairly soon, eyes are going to just begin turning to that lovely gold bar at the bottom of the World Championship. Everywhere you get points throughout the season, be that in the online events or at the majors, they all add together to give you points for the big one at the end. So, yeah, it's getting that important point of the season.
You know that there's one word on that graphic I was looking towards. That big one that says major. It's coming up real quick, and you can be there. You can all join us. Get your tickets! ! Tickets in chat. I'm sure there's going to be some links spamming out there right now. You can click on that, get your tickets. And again, if you like to do the hard work, you like to carry yourself, you don't want to rely on your teammates, you can type it in rl.gg/winter major tickets live, and you can get your tickets. Join us in for San Diego. It's going to be good. Major coming up. This is more past that, but why wait? Go to this one, right? Like, be cool.
Yeah, it's a dream hack, man. Go
cool.
hang out in San Diego.
Let's focus on today, though, because we still have to get to that point. So let's take a look at what's going to happen here. So make sure there's no confusion for you guys. We do have groups and a little taste of that bracket at the end of it. Once we're done our groups, don't leave us. We have 3 rounds of those, and we will play that first round of that bracket. We'll get one single eliminate, get rid of some more teams, narrow it down to make sure that day 2 is a little easier to digest. But that's what we're going to go through today. And I guess we should take a look at the teams that are playing. Let's take a look at those groups right now, because Cole, we start with 16 teams, but it was a little different on how did they get to this point?
Yeah, so in the Invitationals, the third regional in these this winter split, across all the different regions, the teams that have made it here haven't made it through a close qualifier. These are the teams who have the 16 most points throughout the season. As I mentioned earlier, every point you get matters from beginning to end of the season. So these 16 have made it here through that. Of this, In these groups, basically all you want to do, or everything you need to do, should I say, is avoid finishing bottom. If you do that, you at least make it through to tomorrow. If you don't do that, then you're in trouble.
Okay, well, I always have to ask, Spaceman, which one's the group of death? Because there's always supposed to be one.
I mean,
right?
there is technically always one for sure. I mean, I think you can make the argument for C. I personally would go for Group B. I know that M80's on the rise and FaZe have, again, I think if FaZe get like top 3, they qualify, but still, I want to put stock in Optic Gaming this weekend. I'm going to anyway, regardless of what anyone says. So I look at Group B and I just think there's an upset potential there. But anybody with a brain that isn't me would say yes, Group C is probably the group of death for this bracket.
Do you agree, Cole?
Yeah, C is where my eyes went straight away. I mean, Furia, who have flattered to Deceive, they've looked great with Lost and then a little bit terrible. Space Station Gaming, couple of quarterfinals, and then G2 Esports way up there in North America as well, as ever. So there's not really any easy matches, apart from Poor Old Ghost.
So, well, as Cole mentioned, you don't want to be in that last 5. You're number 4. It's not good because you don't make it to this next stage here where we will be playing again. Reminder, this first round, Spaceman, on the day today.
Yeah, listen, all the top seeds from their groups, everybody who finishes first gets a winners round 1 bye. They play in the quarterfinals. Those are all best of 7s. You guys have seen this before. You know how this works. We've been doing this for a very long time. All the round 1s are best of 5s. We will get one of those today to figure out how the playoff bracket's going to go. But you want to finish first, obviously, for that round bye, but also give you a chance to figure out who you're going to play and what kind of the situation, the stakes are going to be. But it's all best of 5s until the quarterfinals, all single elim for the entire playoff bracket. It's the same format we've had for all of North American regionals, all of European regionals. And for now, we will have to update this bracket. We'll have to get those permutations as the matches conclude today, because again, nothing really happens until round 3. So if you're wondering, does somebody get disqualified from the majors? Somebody qualify? We won't know until the 3rd round of matches in our group stage. And tiebreakers, as always, will be played after grand finals if there are any. So it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. We don't know. We will figure that out mathematically, and we will have those after the grand final.
Yeah, if you like Rocket League, you'll be cheering for some tiebreakers. You'll get those on Sunday, as Spaceman said, after the grand finals. But you also mentioned stakes, and here's some of them that are on the line. Of course, those big juicy numbers in the prize pool column are something that we all as spectators look towards because, well, that would be a nice, decent chunk of change. But you know, a lot of these teams are focused on that blue column right in the middle there, points, because points are the name of the game when you're trying to get to that major in San Diego coming up. And it's quite wide open, Spaceman. Gen G locked in, of course, but past that, it's almost anybody's game.
It's a little bit scary. I mean, every week we've had the discussion of, oh, anything could happen. Who knows? But like, legitimately, this week matters because not only, like we just mentioned, does nothing really lock in until round 3. So the first couple of matches are just going to be tension breakers for a lot of squads. But if you're not Gen G, everybody else still has to qualify. So Complexity, you need about 5th through 8th to qualify. FaZe need a top 4 finish. Everybody else, you're fighting for points. That 3rd spot through top 8, like FaZe Clan through NRG, that is all up for shuffle. Anybody can get in, and there's some squads down low in the 16th range and the 15th range that could cause upsets. You never know. So like, nobody is settled except Gen G, and that's the scary thing. This is going to be a very tough day for a lot of teams.
We have been so blessed recently, I was going to say, with how these tiebreakers have gone back in EU. You know, there were 3 teams involved. In North America, I've seen predicted brackets where 5 teams could be involved in a tiebreaker if very certain things happen. So it's a wild couple of weeks of Rocket League that we've been blessed with.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. Let's take a look at that schedule so you guys know what's coming your way. First here in the round 1 matchups, we're going to be focusing on one of these. There's a lot of games to be played. I must remind you, you can watch all of these other matchups on the team streams. I'm going to be doing that. I usually have like 20 tabs open watching all of these games. So go find your favorite team, search across your whatever streaming platform you're watching on, go find the Rocket League category and find your team, get in the chat, cheer them on, get them excited, get them hyped, and let them know that you're behind them and supporting them. But if you do want to just hang out around here, we'll give you updates as we go on through the day, and we'll focus in it on specific matches. Our first one for this round 1 of groups is going to be Furia facing off against Space Station Gaming. I think this is going to be an exciting first match. I think there's a lot of hype between both these teams, but we always question, can they keep reaching a bit higher? Because the region's been clearly dominated by one specific team, but both of these teams feel like they might be able to get to that kind of range, Cole. They feel like high potential teams.
Yeah, I feel like Space Station will be a lot more confident coming into this event, not just because of the fact they have more points, but also the way they're playing. They don't have this massive pressure on their back, really. Obviously, every team's got their own pressure, but Furia coming over to a different region, following in the footsteps of Gen G and Complexity now, who've brought in CRR after making the regional transition themselves, are doing really well. People are looking at Furia thinking, hey, how come they're not quite in that conversation at the moment, despite being so hyped coming here? So I think they've got a lot to prove, Spaceman, but Space Station Gaming consistent in their quarterfinal finishes so far.
Yeah, history, look, is not on the side of Furia in this matchup alone. If we're just looking at record-wise, like 3-1 edge to SSG, we know that on the field, SSG has looked like the more fundamentally competent squad as of late. SSG has a little bit more to prove in this matchup, specifically because of what the stakes mean for this weekend. But Furia is always feels like, as of now, they've been an underdog in a lot of their series. People are not taking them as seriously as maybe they did 6 months ago, and I think that does play into their hands quite a bit. This is going to be a very tough one, Leaf. I'm interested to see how the split's going to be in chat, because I think it's going to be relatively 60-40, 50-50 maybe.
Yeah, if you guys already weren't spamming, start doing that now, because we're going to tally them up in a second here. Hashtag FUR, hashtag SSG to vote for the team you think is going to be the one that ends up taking the dub here. And remember, you're not done or out after this, but obviously getting your wins early on in the groups is something you want to do to avoid potentially having to deal with those tiebreakers in the groups themselves going forward. But lots of important wins on the line with how open all the points are here. Let's get the analysts' thoughts. Let's get this was a tough one for me, at least. Okay, it seems like I was tough. I was almost on Furia. I want Furia to win. But coming into the matchup, I don't know if it's there yet.
You and I are in exactly the same place, Leaf. I think my heart is going with Furia. I love the story. I love the storyline. I love the players. SSG, though, recent history, 1-3 and lost 1 against Furia in recent times. And that means something. And again, like I said earlier, I think Furia have got so much pressure on them, Spaceman, that I'm curious, what is it that is it you think they'll sort of use that pressure?
Yeah, what pushed you over the edge?
I mean, I think that's an excellent point. I don't know if it's the pressure that will be the catalyst for them. I think it's more so sometimes interesting moments create interesting scenarios, and I think Furia might have an opportunity to really put a wrench in the plans of SSG. And I also think that though they are down 3-1 in comparative matchups against SSG so far, always we say, oh, historically it's not on their side, and then something crazy happens. And I think Furia might have what it takes today to use that sample size that they have of a couple of games and stun SSG in maybe 4 or 5. I just think that this weekend's going to be chaotic, and why not start it here?
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of mad that you went Furia, because I want to see Furia win. So I was hoping maybe we would curse them by all going to SSG on the desk. So you
can't do tactical voting, Leaf, all right?
Can we not? We have the power to sway.
Mate, all right? No. You say who you think.
Jorby's not here. Somebody has to do Furia.
No fun allowed, all right?
If someone didn't have Furia, he's probably already fuming that it's not all Furia underneath there. But I really, again, you want to see a team like Furia continue to succeed. It's just when will they hit that full stride? I think, again, as I mentioned coming into this matchup talk, I think both these teams have that potential to be sitting as a top 3 team, and not top 1. Gen G's just got that on lockdown. Exactly. But in those talks, and you just start to question where is that, and when are we going to see that happen?
I mean, with Furia last week, I remember I commentated them in their, I always do that, 2 weeks ago, and the last time there was the North American event. They went 2-0 up against Complexity. They looked stunning. Lost. He was just completely pulling the strings, running rings around Complexity in every which way, and then they get reverse swept, and then they barely won a match later on in that event. So they're a very delicate team at the moment, and I think that's because they have gone from a smaller pond to a much larger one, and then it's just like everywhere you turn, there's a potential loss, as opposed to, oh, we've lost this big game, at least we can win the next 4 or 5 easily and get some momentum going. There's no easy momentum in North America, unless you're Gen G.
Yeah, they've definitely taken longer to acclimate after their roster change to the region, because, I mean, Furia of old didn't really seem to have many problems, but this one, it's not that the problems are glaring, but more so that the competition of North America has continued to rise, and now you're not only trying to fight against Gen G, but you're fighting against FaZe as well, who's clearly top 2, if not trying to maintain their number 1 spot going into this weekend. So there's definitely a lot on the line for Furia, let alone point-wise, but also just kind of validity of the roster. I think across the board, they want to prove that they are more than their results have been speaking. So this is going to be a tough matchup for them.
We'll get the answers in a few moments. We're waiting for players to get readied up, but in the meantime, let's see what chat is saying about this. Let's get your numbers on the board. Let's get you involved heavily in SSG. Not a lot of belief in why not chat? I'm watching you guys chat. I'm paying attention. Give me your reasonings in chat.
Are you trying to get analysis from chat? That is next level reading comprehension, man. If you can do that,
we're bringing chat analysis onto the show while we wait for the matchup.
I don't know what exclamation mark drops has got to do with this matchup, Leaf, but I'm sure there's some connection there.
Oh, don't do that. You're gonna get everyone banned. Oh, hey, we lost 1%. Maybe we can turn it. Yeah, everyone that hasn't typed yet, go Furia. Let's rig this. Let's rig the vote. Go Furia.
We do it now.
Join
no fun allowed.
I didn't do one either.
Stop the count. Just keep it going. Let's get this one interesting.
Yeah, I'm. Can we get it up even 1%?
I've now voted.
Okay, I don't know if we're gonna get it.
It ticks. Hey, that's 1%.
I see. So everyone's just saying it's because okay, I should have expected this. The analysis from desk now from chat is Daniel will carry. That's
Daniel
why
carry.
we picked SSG.
That's been
SSG's game plan till now.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, we have influence. 42%.
Wow.
We almost got it up to 50. Good job, Kat. We got the match ready.
We are powerful people. Let's see if chat's newfound belief spaceman in Furia is able to do anything here, or if the power of Daniel's carry is going to be a little bit too much. And of course, Space Station Gaming are much more than a Daniel carry.
It's going to have to be more than just chat's belief. You're also going to have to look at, I think, for both sides, the belief and not only the complexity, no pun intended, of Furia, but also the dimensions that you have for SSG, because it can't just be the Daniel show. You need to have more consistency from Arsenal, from LJ specifically. This is a player they brought in to make a significant change. He has in some aspects, but SSG not really living up to their potential, their hype as of late, and the same could be said for Furia.
Yeah, I mean, Rexels, who LJ replaced, is a unique player. You know, he's capable of making decisions that not many other players would, whereas LJ, I think, is a slightly more standard player, as Daniel does make a good save and put it to the side. But LJ has recently got to number 1 in the 2v2 leaderboard, so congratulations to him. And he will be wanting to make a big statement for himself, so desperate to qualify for the next major with Space Station Gaming. He's looked really good at times, but it is difficult when you're joining a team with Daniel in it.
It is, and then you're kind of wondering maybe the 2's gameplay will translate relatively easily over towards his 3's, which, again, we've seen for a while since he was back on Oxygen, if memory serves correct, that he has always been one of the more competent players on the field, whether it's been physical or whether it's his closing finishes on the goal line. He's very good at utilizing the most of his possessions, especially playing upfield, but it also means you have to be more than willing to give the ball away to someone like Daniel if you want to orchestrate the offense through him. If that is the case, SSG have more than enough in the toolbox to go into this series. But for Furia, what are the kind of keys to victory for them? Looking at how this roster has played through the majority of this regional, let alone the split so far, it seems that they just have yet to maybe put the pieces together, and those small mistakes have costed them some series.
Absolutely, it's balanced, yes. So, I mean, Lost joins the team, and we know he's one of, if not the fastest player in the world, but sometimes, as you see there, as he and Yan tangle over each other's feet, that can be an issue. You have to expect him to do the unexpected if you get him on your team. I think that Furia, there's still part of them that expect him to play a slightly more regular play style like they had with Kaio for so many years. And, you know, Lost is just not going to do that. If that's what you want, that's a poor pickup. And I don't think that Lost is a poor pickup. But we were talking about a carry. I mean, I was saying that Daniel is a carry, but we have to think on the other team, Yan. You know, a few months ago, he was in the conversation for the best player in the world. He is more than capable of putting Furia on his back.
Yeah, more than most people had started to assume that he was going to maintain that #1 spot and kind of keep his reign going through the season. But again, Rocket League changes. It's a fickle esport. A lot of things do change in the off seasons, but also how kind of the composition of squads will either benefit or negate some play styles. And we've seen that specifically with Furia, but it really comes down to, I think, a lot of their midfield pressure, something they've struggled with this season so far. When we've seen them get comfortable on their sidewall presence, their counterattacks downfield, it's been because Jan's had space to move, and Lost has looked very comfortable with finding those infield passes. If that is the case, Furia should have themselves a pretty standard start to this series, but in this game one alone, it's really been a couple of interesting starts where we've traded possessions back and forth, and Daniel doing everything he can downfield to get SSG on the board.
Well, that is not a carrier's goal. That is just making the most of a situation that Daniel didn't really expect. There was a whiff from Furia on the goal line, and the well-timed demo came in from Daniel. He just prodded the ball home. So that's 1-0 Space Station Gaming, and I've got to say, even up to that goal, they have looked more likely of breaking the deadlock.
Yeah, those are some of those small inconsistencies defensively that I think Furia are going to have to work on for this series to essentially go the distance. But for SSG, like we've talked about, where once they get possession, maybe they let Daniel do what he wants, picks up a demo, clears lane, open house, and he finds the goal. That's kind of what you want. The catalyst getting going early for SSG. Very hot start. Already about a minute 40 still left to play in this one. Time's dwindled away, and it's really just felt like all of SSG.
Furia trying to get back into this one, but there have been one or two too many missed touches. A little bit awkward and stagnant from them so far. Looking like they're lacking a bit of teeth in attack. That's better from Yam with the flip reset. And Arsenal puts it out wide, and then Cards coming in and trying to chase down Daniel. It's not quite happening, but I do like to see already Furia going for a bump or a demo, because Space Station Gaming so far are looking way too comfortable, and suddenly there's barely over a minute left.
It's the prioritization from Furia that's kind of helped them maintain that midfield spot, but so far they've kept 3 up at a time. They haven't really been able to convert it downfield. And you're wondering whether or not that means SSG are going to be more than happy just to play boom ball here, because if you catch them like this, it's going to be easier to pop it over the backline defender when nobody's rotating for space. That's exactly what Space Station do.
It's the man we want to see more from. LJ just bends his car one way, then bends it back the other. Gets it over the top of Lost, who actually was living like his namesake. Seemed a little bit unsure what LJ was trying there as he came from the side wall. And it's Space Station Gaming pretty much in third gear, double their lead. Could be 3 here. Arsenal doesn't get the best shot of his career, and it remains 2-0.
That is the danger call when you have all 3 up. As soon as one person wins a 50 or someone from SSG just gets it right over that backline defender, there's nobody else around to kind of close the deal and get back to net. That's the problem that Fury have had. They just have not been able to convert their stints upfield into positive drives or momentum with the ball. And SSG are poking it free. We saw it with LJ. We saw it with Daniel earlier with the demo that created that opening goal. With under 30 to play, this is going to be a game 1 win, barring a miracle, really. That's a complete flip offensively from Furia. We're still waiting for them to kind of get going.
Yeah, it's not looking likely at all. And yes, Yan can take out Daniel, but even if he does, Lost, he was a little bit reluctant, which is pretty much what we were saying at the start of this. He would never be. Surely now, even Lost is not a player who's starting to question himself. Another double commit. Not even involving Lost this time, from Yan and Card. Furia, all at sea. Space Station Gaming have done enough, but I think to an extent in game number 1, Spaceman, Furia have beaten themselves.
Yeah, SSG didn't have to work overtime for any of their goals. I mean, that was a very, very quick start to this best of 5. They took what they were given, but on the other side, Furia just didn't seem like they were able to find their rhythm at all, whether it's a consistency problem or just a game 1 extension for them. They very much struggled to find their footing early in series. We've seen them even jump to a lead and then lose it in a reverse sweep fashion. So I'm curious what the approaches will be like, what the changes will be going into game 2. Because Leaf, it's a lot of times Fury have what it takes, but they don't seem to put it all together. Yeah. And it just kind of comes up a little bit too late for them.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that in the Mobile One High Performance replay. Space Station looking strong in this matchup. But I want to give you some idea of who's looking strong in the other matchups real quick. Here's a fun one. We talked about Ghost Gaming beforehand, how they're still potential, and it's wide open. They're potentially in the running too. They just took down G2 in game 1, so they're up.
I apologize for saying no easy games in that group, apart from Ghost. So yeah, I'm already proven to.
You're already proven. It's already
didn't take long.
Well, I mean, that's what a group death is that kind of anyone can take it, right? So
sure.
And now you're right. Obviously, Gen G got their dub as well. Yep. I want to let you know, M80 is a team I think everyone's got their eye on right now. They took game 1 against Knights, and they're up 2-1 in game 2. So still looking strong coming into even this regional. So consistency.
Spaceman, what would you rate Furia's performance in that first game by their standards out of 10?
Are we doing numerically or alphabetically?
Numberally.
I will give it a C4 out of a 10 on a scale.
I think you said they didn't play as well as they normally can, in which case I would agree, Spaceman. That was not up to Furia's normal standards, and I'm sure we will see them playing much better as this series commences. There was a car change from Yan. He couldn't wait to leave the lobby in the last one, so clearly they're aware that something's not quite working. And I've got to say, on Forbidden Temple, they've at least started with a little bit of territory and pressure.
You know, I also think that kind of looking how that game 1 went, just rhythm-wise, it was a very quick 2-0 victory. Like, we didn't waste a lot of time with long counterattacks from Furia. There wasn't a lot of hold-on possessions for SSG. They got upfield, they scored, and they went back to defense, and Fury were still trying to figure out how they were going to play their cards in that opening start. That spells a lot for maybe the mentality of SSG going into today, but also the problems with Fury and what they need to change, because they really didn't have a good hold on what they wanted to do in game 1. But granted, it's a best of 5. You still have plenty of time to turn things around very quickly. Arsenal is 1v3ing, and there's still space here for SSG.
Yeah, to be fair to Fury, though, they managed to deal with that at least for now. Daniel is coming in, though. Gets it past Yan. Wants the second touch. Can't get it. Card misses. And then gets round with the in-and-out save and sends it away. More awkwardness from Furia, despite starting this second game better. Looking awkward as soon as they're in defense. And I think that's what Space Station Gaming have realized. They can just hold out when Furia do come forward. They will get 3 goals, but now as Furia attacking Arsenal saves, Jan surely puts it in to get Furia's first goal of the game. And there it is.
And this is great pressure, too. I mean, Lost is able to get 2 defenders to bite on that mid-push, and Jan comes in for the closing finish. But really, I was wondering how SSG are going to handle the pressure. They had all the boost in the world to work with, but that's where you put the pedal to the metal if you're Furia. You force SSG to make those saves and to dive across the net. They do so. Finally, you follow up, and you find the goal you'd been looking for in Game 1. That's a nice response from Furia.
Still not prime Furia, but Space Station Gaming are going to have to do a little bit of thinking if this series is going to go their way. So they just sends it forward towards Lost, who finds Jan. A transition game for Furia, much better than it was in game number 1. What can Jan conjure up? Nothing with Arsenal closing him down. LJ's there to the side, should be able to send this one up for Daniel. That's what Space Station want. Daniel with the ball gets a flip reset from the ceiling, tries to go undercard. Doesn't quite happen that time, and Lost ends it out wide.
That's a beautiful play from Daniel as well. He gets that midfield grab, and Arsenal's more than happy to give the pass away. Then you let him continue to play off ball. You let him get those demos, that physicality that keeps SSG upfield. That's what you want to see if you're an SSG fan. They're feeling very comfortable as a 3-man unit, but Furia have responded quite nicely. They've gotten back to the midfield line. They're holding onto the boost, just as I say that. Lost for the diving clear to the corner. They look more comfortable now taking some of those challenges against the SSG offense.
Space Station Gaming, they're coming forward again. LJ, look at him winning that race. He's coming alive in this game and in this series. Going around the top of card. I mean, Daniel, everything's going through him, but LJ's really impressed me so far in the first couple of games.
Yeah, it looks like he's been more maybe of the catalyst of the offense than Daniel has. But as I say that, there you go. So a tie game very quickly, and that's the SSG offense that you're kind of accustomed to as Arsenal gets 2 to bite, and LJ centers it nicely for Daniel.
I don't want to keep on critiquing Furia, but once again, I mean, when that pass came in from LJ, there were 2 of them staring at the ball, pretty much wrong wheeled, had to reverse quickly, and their defense lost all momentum completely. So more questions for Furia's defense, although it was nice play from Space Station.
Yeah, I mean, you can only really credit Arsenal for setting it all up, but you do wonder where exactly were the defenders going, right? You're thinking maybe you pinch it towards the wall, bring it through the corner. You shouldn't have 2 that are that freely exposed, and you shouldn't have an open goal like this where Daniel has 2 members in front and he still finds a way to slot it.
Yeah, but LJ causing more chaos there, getting it past card. Lost misses again, and Daniel had to do a lot of work. The finish wasn't easy from there. I think it was the one part of the goal he could get it, but it just looked a little bit simple overall for Space Station. Furia still struggling in defense.
It does come back to that conversation we had in the start of Game 1, Cole, where, you know, Furia do all the work to get themselves on the board, but it's these small mistakes that kind of pull them back. You know, 1 step forward, 3 steps back. That has been the tall tale for this squad in this entire split. Maybe it does change. Arsenal, great save. But for Furia, you have to start mitigating those mistakes defensively because defense keeps you into games, but offense helps you win them. And so far, they really haven't had either.
Lost is coming in. Cards to his left. And Jan was to his right. In the end, it was just down the side. Jan, again, up against LJ. LJ, who's done so much good work this series. Almost gets it towards Arsenal. But Arsenal have tad lackadaisical. That lets Lost in. And Furia, I think, really needed that with 1 minute 20 left.
Absolutely did. And that's all set up by Jan's 50 win. Carved the follow-up as well. The pressure's mounting, and Lost just flies in single file. The net's pretty open on opposite post. I like that shot. Good creation throughout the corners. Nicely played by Card. Better finish by Lost. And Furia take another step forward.
Yeah, it's one of the few times in this series so far that Furia have all been in sync. You know, the 3 of them seem to have a sense of what the other was doing. We haven't seen that anywhere near enough. Hopefully for them, they can build upon it as Jan goes to the sky. But Daniel comes in. Lost has to make another save, diving in from the side. Card gets out of his way wisely, so Lost can keep on going. That's actually great work from Lost. Not been his best series so far, but he's definitely stepped up in the last 30 seconds. So LJ goes around the corner. Arsenal's going to try and just stare down Jan, make his next play as difficult as possible. Jan then returns the favor to Space Station Gaming. That was almost going in the top corner. And Arsenal tees up LJ.
Yeah, they're letting Jan roam as an enforcer, and I like that call. You're kind of paralleling what Daniel's done so far for the SSG offense. And if you want to play through the crease, that's how you do it. That's how you get physical and keep SSG off the backboard. That opens up a shot for Card, opens up space for Lost, and now you can triple commit and afford those luxuries defensively that you didn't have before because you're feeling comfortable on the opposite side of the ball. But we'll see how the clear does come out, as it looks like for the moment Furia can breathe, but not for long. SSG are pressing.
Yeah, Space Station Gaming will be well aware their opponents have stepped up, but they're still trying to attack all the way down to the end of game number 2. The infield pass doesn't quite come off. But SSG still looking confident. Arsenal's bumped into the play almost. Card sends it wide. Furia, I think, would take an overtime at this point, just to give themselves something approaching a 50-50 chance of taking a game. Daniel's low beaten. Yan is there up against nobody. LJ up in Arsenal. Ooh, Cards coming in. So want to keep this one alive. He wants to, can't quite do it. And we go to overtime in game 2.
Much like SSG are forcing the defensive stays from Furia, Furia now starting to force the hand of SSG's defense. And look what it's caused. It's forced SSG to respect the offense of Furia more, but also they're having to fly into the corner grabs and make sure that ball doesn't land. Arsenal with a beautiful redirect. Daniel plays it off the backboard, but the clear will be there, and Lost kicks it out. A chance now for Furia offensively.
It's risky defending for a second, but it just about worked out for Furia. Arsenal do manage to have some control of the ball, though. LJ's going to be beaten here, though, by Lost. His speed has really started to help Furia, and it's going to really help them now as he takes the overtime.
That's just a beautiful play. I mean, Lost slows it enough, gets it around 2, gets it around 3. Goodbye on skates. Nice knowing you. We'll see you next game. That is what you want from Furia. That individuality, that creativity that was missing for so long. It finally comes out, and it's a 1v3 for the win.
Yeah, and it's one of the few times that Lost actually has space among his teammates as well. And that's why he has been so impressive in his past, and he can be so impressive for Fury once he has those little pockets of space to play with Card and Yan just giving him a little bit of, some area to do what he does. And Leaf, that was much better for Furia. This series is starting to brew into something quite nice.
Yeah, this is I like to see close matchups. To be, I don't care what the team, who I'm cheering for, what the teams are. If it's not a close matchup, it's not fun. You want it to be good, and we have a few close matchups going across the board. I gotta let you know the Optic FaZe matchup's pretty fun. Optic's actually up 1-0 against FaZe. Yeah, and they're tied 2-2 in the game too. Yeah.
I'm telling. Okay, that's it.
V1 NRG.
I believe. Yeah,
that's 1-1 in the series. Oof. So again, remember these team streams are going on. Go watch these streams if you want to support these teams and cheer them on. M80 looks like they're about to complete a sweep against the Knights, though. So
they keep going, don't they?
They're not stopping. 3 regionals in a row. They are performing. I love it.
Well, M80 looking good. Don't forget, everybody, that you are able to go and watch any of those series. Or you can stay right here and see if Fury complete their turnaround against Space Station Gaming, who I think Spaceman were just a little bit shell-shocked with the way Furia stepped up at the end of that game.
Yeah, there wasn't that timid offense that we saw in game 1 that Furia, wow, okay, that Furia clearly did. They clearly had. That kind of broke my brain for a second. But SSG started to respect the midfield pressure that Furia were giving more, and I think that's where we're seeing the series really come back to even weight across both sides. The equilibrium is clearly here. Now we're tied 1-1. This is a very decisive game 3 in this best of 5.
Lost has an outlet in the center, which is Card, but wasn't quite able to find in the pass. Was too far along, so Arsenal was able to take over. Space Station Gaming looking to return to form here in game number 3. They're looking faster than their opponents again, but Furia are getting these little pockets of space to play with. The redirect is good. Daniel was aware to it. And then look at Lost tracking. Look at the space that he gets for Card. It's another shot on target. And Space Station Gaming are dealing with so much more pressure than they were in certainly the start of the first game.
And I think that's a great term there. They're tracking the ball more specifically off those follow-up shots, those rebounds. You're seeing Yan throw a shot towards the net. You're seeing Lost start to rip one as well. These one-timers that weren't working out for Furia in games 1 and 2, but near the end of game 2, it started to come to fruition. Now they're looking very comfortable with just, you know what, we're at midfield. Let's put something at the net. Let's take a shot. Let's get creative. And that's been a big change from the start of this series. Furia starting to look much more comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. They're looking like a team again, and it was just starting to look like that wasn't going to be the case. The Space Station Gaming going to have to do a lot more work in order to break them down. Surely have to play the counter-attacking style, because they will sense there are still mistakes in this Furia defense. Maybe Arsenal can force one up against Yan. Sends it towards Card, but Card said no. LJ had tracked back, and he's slowed down as well in the last game or so. So this is where, if he is to achieve what he wants to do in this scene, LJ, he has to be able to step back up and not just accept that his bubble, is cooled down.
And we spent a lot of time talking about the positives and the changes from game 1 and on for Fury, but it's also worth noting this is a big regional for SSG as well. A lot of these teams fighting for that next qualification spot for the major, SSG being one of them. And if you're watching their gameplay to start, if you're a fan of this squad, you're going to be happy with what you're seeing. Arsenal looks very comfortable moving the ball upfield, setting up Daniel, setting up LJ. LJ's being a catalyst when it comes to the physicality, playing through the corners, winning those 50s, and Daniel has flown through the lanes, whether it's a third man or the second option on offense, and he has really put some quality shots on net today. SSG looked very comfortable offensively. We've used that word a lot, but this is what you want in a third regional. With the nerves on the line and the stakes that are on the line, SSG should be feeling good.
Arsenal is going to leave this one to his teammate LJ, and actually goes all the way towards Daniel, doing all sorts of work. Look at the dribbling prowess of Yan. lost up there against Card, but Daniel's going to come in now. Space Station, I think, need a bit of time on the ball for a little while because Furia do seem to be able to dictate the play much more than they'd like. You know, counterattacks are all well and good, but you still want to change the conversation. That's what Daniel's trying to do by sticking to that wall. It's not quite worked there. Andre just tries to prod it towards Daniel, but it's an awkward angle, so he can't. Well, he can. Nobody else would be able to do too much there, but Daniel at least gets it past one and then forces the 50-50 towards LJ.
I mean, that's just brilliant pressure from Furia. Daniel had a full tank, and he wasn't able to escape through the corner. And now look what's happening. These demos are creating space. They're going to have to start committing on the goal line, and SSG are kind of throwing their numbers at this, just trying to hold possession. Like you said, it hasn't been theirs for the majority of this game. It's been all of Furia. Though it's 0-0, it very much feels like Furia are in complete control, and they have all the boost in the world to work with to clear this ball away and can keep the offense going.
What you worry, though, is that when a team is as delicate as Furia, if they have this position and don't make the most of it, they might live to regret it. But that hasn't happened. They do have their lead, and it's lost with the goal.
And again, these 50s in the closing seconds of the offensive third for Furia, that set up so many open nets. Back in game 2, it was those constant 50s through the corner from Yan and from Lost that set up a shot. Even here, looking at the transition downfield, it's the 50 win for Furia that gives them a chance to take an open net look. And they find it, they finish it, they have a 1-0 lead. Still plenty of time on the clock for SSG, but Furia looking like a very strong squad and kind of righting their wrongs, those small mistakes they had.
So plenty of time for SSG, but we haven't seen too much from them in game 3. They'll have to completely step up and increase that pace. Daniel's not able to do there then. Card into the center. Lost is just waiting. Perfect rotations from Furia. Let's get the second touch. Not quite able to. Arsenal takes a couple of hits for himself. Card steams in from the side, but it's just fallen to Yan again. Space Station Gaming, they just can't keep control of this ball.
There was a hesitation from LJ on the wing. He was waiting for Arsenal to move up with the ball, and then he got his call to follow up suit. And the ball didn't go anywhere. There was an immediate demo, a big bump, and Furia are now just playing 2v1 zone defense, which is very easy to read for them. I'm wondering whether it's a communication problem for SSG, but it looks like oftentimes they're waiting for the offense to come to them rather than kind of forcing their hand and making Furia commit to the play. Daniel try to keep this one moving, can't get it to Arsenal, but LJ is there for the recovery. Rebound here, SSG clearing the board. Nicely played by Arsenal, but nobody else is around. Daniel has to rotate back.
Let's see, 10 more seconds. Space Station Gaming, what have you got? LJ towards Arsenal, but Card is up there. Every race right now being won by Furia. Daniel wants the 50-50, but it just goes to the side. They need more than that. They need something down the center, something near that goal. Is the ball going to fall for an SSG player? I don't think it's going to happen. Card should be able to kill this one. He does kill it, and Furia take the series lead.
I think that's indicative of Furia's resolve and their ability to limit their mistakes. They look, again, much more comfortable. We will hit on that point a million times because that's been the problem with this team. They have not looked like they've been on the same page in the majority of this split. So far, their offense has looked potent. It's looked consistent. Their counterattacks are pretty clean, but granted, Space Station hasn't given them much. Regardless, though, when you're looking across the board, it's really been the 50 game. It's been the physicality in our Mobile 1 high-performance replay. It was the constant pressure upfield from Furia and the ability to maintain possession lead.
Yeah, again, I think we made it clear before that while we went SSG, we're happy to see Furia looking good on the field, or at least getting a couple dubs out there. Speaking of dubs, M80 and Complexity both finished their 3-0 sweeps against their opponents. Axel was taken down by Complexity. That's who they faced off against. NRG version 1 game is looking fun. NRG is currently at match point 2-1 against version 1. So if you're an NRG fan, you like it. If you're a V1 fan, maybe not so much, but it is close still. And Dignitas is currently at match point against Koi into game 3, but they are tied, so potentially overtime there. But maybe a full sweep for them too.
Wow. Okay, well, version 1 losing to NRG, it really has not been their split version 1. And so far, Spaceman, it's not really been Furious, but this game and this series is looking more and more like the Furia of old, especially with LJ missing. Card says yes to the freebie, 1-0. Didn't have to do any work for that.
It's like when chickens look up in the rain and they drown. You look up once and you're like, oh, guess what? Waterfall. Boom. There you go. Card takes advantage. You ever seen that?
No, I've certainly not seen it. Have you?
It's one of chickens or turkeys. Yeah, I saw when I was a kid. It was traumatizing, but a lot of farms here in the United States. You get to see some stuff.
Wow. Well, we've all learned today, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go and. Anyway, yeah. So 1-0, you were saying, to Furia, and what a lovely free goal that was for them. I also heard the Leaf giggle in the background as well when you said that. So that's.
I'm trying to fact check this right now.
It's true. They look up in the rain and they drown, so they have to keep them inside. somehow that relates to LJ missing the touch. So, you know.
That really has thrown me, and I love it so much. Space Station Gaming, let's hope they're not listening to your commentary, because right now they'll be saying in the comms, like, really? Can that possibly be a thing? And maybe that was what has been happening for the last game or so, because Furia have been all over them. As Lost goes again from the backboard. Daniel, wow, what positioning from him defensively. Space Station Gaming just need to do more than make these saves.
You know, so now becomes the dichotomy of what was different, could say, from Lost in game one, where Furia were causing mistakes and not capitalizing on the other end. And now for Furia, they're taking advantage of very minor mistakes from SSG and they're scoring off of it. So as a baseline, you're working with a 0-0, but now you have a lead as well. This is going to spell disaster if SSG don't start maintaining possession and really forcing Furia to respect them at midfield, because so far that hasn't happened.
Yeah, all those drowning chickens may come home to roost. Let's just set that game up quick. Daniel wants to get this one around the corner, and he does, and there's no one there again. Space Station, they seem so in sync with each other in the first game and a half. All of a sudden, that's completely changed. Let's credit to Furia. They have to keep on going. Lost has the ball. He just sends it long. Wants to ask more questions from SSG. Daniel gets a perfect first touch. Wants to flip reset around the corner. Half gets it, and just slaps him out the way. And Space Station Gaming can come forward no more.
I think it's important to note as well that SSG have done a very good job in this game of maintaining their boost upfield. They've always had something in the tank to work with. They haven't had possession. And Cole, you hit on it back in game 3. They've struggled to hold on to this ball and really create their offense past that 50-yard line. It seems that, again, they're kind of pulling it laterally, trying to force Furia towards the sidewall, maybe a chance for Daniel to get creative with the mechanics. But it hasn't really led to much. And on those inner lanes, you got Furia cutting down these extensions. It's going to be tough for SSG to change it up if they can't find one another.
Oh, Card, he fakes it out, and Daniel again is the savior in defense. Lost around the corner, he's got the boost to play with. Daniel again has to nip in there from nowhere and get the block. I think that one was going in. Another great effort from Furia. I think they're happy now to play the more counter-attacking playstyle. Let SSG keep coming forward. Let them just pucker themselves out and then send them right back. Arsenal is going to lose this race to Card, isn't he? Yeah, Card wins it cleanly. Daniel's nipping in. LJ does have half a chance to get a couple of touches. But right now, Space Station are being made completely ineffectual against the defensive Furia.
You're going to have to start hunting down Yan as well. He is now roaming, looking for demos, looking for bumps, clearing the goal line for Furia once they get upfield. We've seen a little bit of that on the opposite side where Arsenal's fallen off the play, been a second man trying to create space for LJ to score, for Daniel to get a shot. But that's about it. It's really just been the physicality and the constant pressure from Furia. Back towards the sidewall we go. LJ was looking for his teammate, but Yan takes it right back, and Daniel has to fall off towards the top of the goal line and burn all his boost to keep this one out. I mean, it's just this constant, like, lazy Susan pressure that you're seeing from Furia that's just devastating for the SSG defense.
Let's see if Daniel, he has got the most likely to change that. He always seems to be for Space Station, but it's just not quite happening. That final touch, that, you know, left or right 50-50 isn't going their way, and LJ can't connect either. Daniel puts it to the side. Arsenal, he's coming in now. Daniel's nowhere to be seen, rotating back for boost. He has to go up in the sky, but it's such a slow touch. LJ can get it. He can't really do too much of it, even getting past the defender. Lost is there just waiting. Space Station just lacked that incision now, and there's only a minute left. Furia could double their lead. Lost had a real chance there to put that one on target. Daniel from the side. Arsenal beats his opponent. Arsenal should equalize here. And just like that, Furia's playstyle has backfired.
There was too much space for about 7 minutes in this entire stretch where there was opportunities here for SSG to just throw the ball downfield and get a look. And finally they do. It took Arsenal escaping what would have been a demo and Daniel as a lead blocker up front. But for those long stretches, SSG had so much space to create a play. They just could never get through that last barricade of the defense of Furia. Finally, they find an opening, and Arsenal, like he's done all series, has played upfield and found success.
SSG will know that Furia are now a team that are not above a collapse. They just have to keep on going. They've got their equalizer. Now, if they keep their heads up, they may get another one. It's going to happen, is it? No, Yan just about gets a wonder save. It was his own mistake that he made the most of dealing with. Now, Card's chasing this ball, 30 seconds left. There's definitely one more goal in this before overtime. Could belong to either team. SSG really fancy it now, but that one's just going to be saved by Card.
It's a tough clear, though. I mean, you give it right back to Arsenal, and now you got to worry about a demo down front. Arsenal flies off the backboard and gets close enough to creating havoc, but you slow it down to the midfield. Do SSG have enough just to keep this one up for another swing? I think they do.
Lovely fake. Daniel, he wins it with 7 seconds left. There was a fake in the air, but it's the Daniel show, really.
He doesn't win that without getting that midfield boost. He does not finish this play without stealing that grab and taking resources away from Furia. we're almost guaranteed a Champions Field between these two teams, but it comes down to this final kickoff.
Oh, it's a good one for SSG as well. Arsenal can just flick it over the top. And Furia, it has to be said, have collapsed. It's good work from SSG, but 3-1 from the position they were in, that is painful for Furia.
It really is, but I think that's also just credit to Daniel, of course. He is able to pick up 100 boost. He solos his way through, but Arsenal, who kind of sets up the entire offense in this game, just keeping pressure downfield, keeping his rotations clean, and putting more opportunities on the board for SSG to finally find a goal. This was a brilliant resurgence in the late game by SSG. They kept to their cards, they stuck to what worked, they found space. Furia eventually do crumble, but they don't get anywhere without Arsenal kind of leading the charge, and you just give Daniel space with boost, yeah, he's probably going to score. That just means we're getting a Champions Field.
Yeah, well, we're heading there, Leaf. And before this series started, you asked Twitch chat for some analysis about why Space Station will beat Furia. What was it they said?
Yeah, they said Daniel will carry.
They were spitting.
Are they geniuses?
They
Might
knew.
be.
Chat
Are we
knew.
losing our jobs?
Chat knew, man.
We got all of you up here on the desk. This isn't the only match that's close right now. Version 1 NRG in game 5 now. NRG lost the overtime where they were on match point. And now both teams are on match point. It's essentially a best of one. Version 1 is up 1-0 though in that match. So go tune into that. Very exciting. I do also want to let you know FaZe Optic. Right now, Optic Gaming is at match point 2-1 over FaZe. And the last game that they just played, Optic won 5-1.
Oh, yeah. I told you. I made a tweet. I said Optic's coming this week. Oh, let me cook. Let chat cook. Everybody's cooking, okay? It's happening. Ooh.
Phenomenal. And of course, G2 did finish their match over Ghost Gaming 3-1. And the only other one that's still going on past that is Dignitas and Koi, which is still 2-1 for Dignitas.
This long and winding series has gone all the way to Champions Field, and truly I've got no idea who is on top here. Furia looked dominant for a couple of games, but Space Station Gaming have come roaring back, and they are punishing Furia.
And the last thing you want is Daniel to be the main one getting going for SSG. When you're getting on Champions Field, everybody commits, but no one's tall enough, and Daniel opens up proceedings very quickly, 12 seconds into Game 5. We already got a lead for Space Station.
After a collapse like that at the end of Game 4, the last thing you want to do is concede in 12 seconds. It could get even worse. Arsenal from the ceiling. I'm just about able to dip in there ahead of him. That has Jan in the center, but Arsenal takes him out. You have to remember, this is what SSG can do as well, the way they can frustrate you. The demos, the bumps, the awkward plays, and then, of course, Spaceman, the Daniel brilliance.
Yeah, look, once the demos start to land for SSG, that's when you're in panic mode if you're Furia. But you try to keep things cool, calm, collected for now. Get back to midfield, try to reestablish a baseline with that offense. That's all credit to SSG, though. That double commit, a little bit interesting. Daniel does get the save. Jan going to pop it back up. A slow roller, easily read by LJ. And this is where things get interesting, right? That midfield pressure, that containment if you're SSG. How do they keep Furia on the back foot?
Jan, who has made another car change, but his new Fennec, I believe it is, isn't quite fast enough to get to that ball, so SSG come forwards, lost. Puts it towards Arsenal. This could get worse. Jan with the save from the side. LG up against Jan. They're desperate, Furia, to get these couple of touches in a row, but Space Station are closing them so well in the middle that Furia are never able to really get control of the ball.
And remember how the playstyle changed for SSG at the end of that last game. They were stealing boosts. They were getting those corner grabs. Same situation here. Furia, upfield, Card had 0 boost, and he was waiting for a pass. Like, you don't have a lot in the tank here if you're Furia, and you're hoping that you're getting physical and maybe creating more opportunities. A follow-up shot easily saved. But even with the pressure now, you got to make sure you're fighting for that resource. Otherwise, it's going to be all but pointless.
Loss is going to keep this one going. Furia have managed to steady the ship at least somewhat since going behind. And that's that one bounce. Arsenal up against Jan. Jan does get a clean touch this time, so Furia, I would say, are starting to increase their pace. Space Station needs to be able to deal with that. They'll know fully well that one goal can completely change a game, and in this case, change a series too. As Arsenal closes down Lost. Daniel sends it long. Jan is just waiting yet again, and we seem to have reverted to a period that we had maybe 3 games ago, where Furia are making all the plays. The Space Station are more than happy to just sit back and defend for minutes at a time.
You know, there are a lot of games that seem to go by very quickly. We saw it in the game 1, maybe looking back at Coliseum up until the end. That's a long clear, hold on. This very much feels like a tug-of-war match at midfield. We've had about 2 minutes burned, still got a lot on the clock to work with. But if you're SSG, you would love a 2-0 lead. You're not comfortable with a 1-0 for Furia. You're just hoping you can break out of this bottleneck right now. It has been relenting, overwhelming. A lot of words, very little time. LJ almost makes it 2-0, but Furia have to find a way to break out.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this one ends 1-0. I can see Space Station just frustrating Furia for the next couple of minutes. Furia going to have to put everything on the accelerator. Arsenal from side to side. Look how deep Furia are. They have to get further forward. Not let Space Station Gaming come out, because this is what happens. It can be punished. Yan misses. Card is there up against Arsenal. Losing at the first clean touch here. It's Daniel. He sends it long. Arsenal's there for the redirect, but Yan beats him to it. Now Yan keeps on going. Lost is taken out the way by LJ. And then Yan tries to take LJ out. Not quite happening again. And the time is going down, Spaceman. Furia are going to have to start taking some real risks to get past Space Station.
I mean, Furia are upfield consistently now, but Cole, what are you seeing? What are they not able to capitalize on? Because it seems that they've had more than their fair share of opportunities to potentially tie this game up. What are they not doing that needs to change?
They're going for bumps, and a couple of times they've missed the Space Station player that they're actually going for. He's managed to escape them and then get the ball as well. So I don't mind Furia going for that, trying to disrupt the Space Station Gaming way of playing, but it's just not quite happening there again. Daniel escapes both with the ball and with his life. Club comes forward, but it's only as far as Daniel. Look, Lost goes for him again, but the bump isn't well timed. Daniel escapes with it.
Arsenal is so far out on some of his counterattacks, transitioning back to the defensive side of the field, and that means he has confidence in LJ and Daniel to do their best to keep this one out. No way, LJ just resets it cleanly over the last man back. It can't be that easy for SSG. I mean, he beats it on the sidewall, and that's it. That's the reset right over again.
He makes it look so simple as well, LJ. It was almost in slow motion. He had no pace at all on the ball. That was all style, that was all mechanics, and that was all surprise that Yan couldn't deal with. And now Space Station Gaming, a team who themselves are trying to break through to make it to the San Diego Major. Every point for them matters. Every victory is so key. They've got 44 seconds left to hold against the Furia that have been reluctant to lose. You know, they've carried on fighting throughout, but Space Station may well have beaten them here. LJ over double.
Oh, man.
That could seal it, and that does seal it.
LJ's gaming. He is gaming. Look at him go. Thanks for playing. Appreciate the game 5. I'll see you on YouTube.
He's been brilliant, LJ. You know, he had a game and a half that were quite quiet, but at the start of this series and at the end of the series, the bits that really matter, LJ has truly stepped up for SSG.
He really has. And look, you could level some criticism against him in games 2 and 3. Maybe he wasn't as productive offensively for sure. But when you look at the totality of this series, there were mistakes that were remedied by Furia. But really the question was, if you take away their 50 game on offense, if you take away their ability to constantly win in the chip shots, what do they have? They really haven't had much. There hasn't been a lot of creativity. They haven't been able to force space. SSG were forcing so much opportunity in game 4. They capitalize in game 5. Daniel starts everything. LJ closes. This was a very, very strong performance and a rebound for SSG. GG's all around. A good showing from Furia, but just not enough. Space Station win this 1 in 5.
You have to credit Space Station for sticking to the game plan. I mean, Furia, they were what? 45 seconds, a minute, whatever it was, away from winning that series on Utopia. They had it in their hands, but Space Station sensed that if they kept going, they would just get that win. And speaking of getting that win, Leaf, I think every win has been got.
Every win has been got. We have all of our matches finished off. Dignitas take that dub over Koi 3-1. And the one that I think everyone was kind of waiting to see what would happen with was Optic 3-1 over FaZe.
No way.
They get the dub.
I told y'all. You call me a madman. I said Optic's back, baby. Oh, yeah. It's FaZe is phasing. This is great.
I was watching because JG7's doing the FaZe broadcast, and I was watching. He said, "You know what? Through clenched teeth, there's nothing I can say. It was a great game." Yeah, and then he spent the next minute convincing himself that win was great for Optic. But no, it was respect from him to Optic that, hey, he's like, finally, it's good to see it going. So yeah, these rounds, honestly, a bit interesting, but we have more. We have a lot more Rocket League coming your way. And if you're a Complexity and NRG fan, you're going to be hanging out with us because that's when we got on the mainstream coming up after the break. So we'll see you there.
You can save an average of 2 times more with our smart savings tools. For everything we want, we're all better off with an ally.
Tries to send one to the back of the net, and he will triple, but you said the double might work out. How about a triple?
Oh my! Through this time, fire, try to clear this away. Let me go with the man. Picks up the steam. It's still there for Decisive. He scored! Shaping up to be the game Carmine Court needed. Astral also coming off the ceiling. Oh! He's on a different plane! What was that? He's not real! I really like the adjustment from Nolly. Oh! Yeah, me too, Jeremy. I really like how Nolly's looking. 1-0 Genji. He's looking real good after that.
I would love to see the stats from who has been picking up those pads a little bit more. We'll have to wait and find out, because Pad, he's got some ideas of his own. Composure from straight Canadian. And it's
We said we'd be back, and we're not going to
Nice.
lie to you. We're back with the Rocket League Championship Series. Day one carries on with the group stage of the North American Invitational. I'm Leaf, Cole, and Spaceman once again joining me. That is a cool trick.
Thanks.
That is really
I missed
nifty.
it. Do it again?
Oh, you want me to do it again?
I've never seen anyone do that
Oh,
before.
yeah. I can.
Yeah, what's going on?
Woo.
This is the extent of what I bring to the
What?
broadcast. So yeah, look at that.
Oh my God.
I'll teach
This
you one
is
day,
really
Lee.
cool.
It'll be beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
When you're
you-
older,
you-
we'll teach you.
If you want to keep watching this stuff, stick around this one. If you're sick of that, there's team streams going on. You can go watch all the other team streams that are happening around the scene. But here's what happened in that first round, Cole. Across the board, a couple 3-0s there, but some decent matches. I mean, even looking at like something like Shopify Rebellion taking on Gen G and even getting a game off. I like to see at least a little bit of combativeness from these teams.
Yeah, Shopify Rebellion got a game against Gen G, and also Ghost Gaming got a game against G2 before G2 got 3 in a row. But I think where everyone's eyes are looking, it's worth reiterating. We mentioned it before the break. Phase 1, Optic Gaming 3.
Yeah.
Everyone in Rocket League, apart from apparently Spaceman, who tweeted out predicting it, is shooketh at that. That is a shocking result. And FaZe Clan, don't forget, went out in the quarters in the first regional, so they are not guaranteed, despite winning last time out, to make it to the major. If a real disaster happens.
How'd you feel about what we're seeing from North America, Spaceman, coming out of first round there?
If we're talking just by recency, I think FaZe will be fine. But there have been some interesting shakeups for sure. I think the Furia is going to be kicking themselves after that series, right? Like SSG was a bit of a stalemate throughout the majority of that first 2 games, and SSG squeezed it out. G2 can breathe. Dignitas, also big weekend for them. You look at their comparisons with M80. Everyone's like, M80 making these runs, top 8s, 100%. Dignitas, also very interesting squad to keep your eye on. But across the board, I think really the biggest standout so far is the FaZe loss, right? Like, regardless of what I want to say, FaZe losing, they still need to make top 3 this weekend to qualify for the major. That's really the only thing that stands out. Other than that, it's been pretty standard. NRG version 1's a toss-up. NRG lost. Okay, they've been doing that a lot. So nothing's really changed.
Yeah, again, everything's wide open. We don't get any results or any implications until we head into that third round where things might all happen all at once. So keep your ears peeled for that. But heading into round 2, here's your matchups. As I mentioned before, head across to the other streams, whatever streaming platform you're on, look up the Rocket League category and find your favorite team. You can watch them firsthand. They every team's got their own casters or their personalities streaming these matches, and you can support them. But if you want to stick around here, that's fine too, because we have a great matchup coming your way. And a lot of people ask this question. Sometimes it's a meme, but I can actually answer it. When is NRG playing? And it's right now. Our next matchup is going to be Complexity versus NRG, but this might not be a matchup maybe NRG fans want to be watching if they want to live in a fantasy world of dubs. Because in my opinion, Cole, coming into this, Complexity looks like the stronger team.
I feel like we're going to have to turn to chat and say to them, how are NRG going to win this one? Because to me, Complexity look like the stronger team. Complexity are the stronger team. Let's be frank. They're coming off the back of a 3-0 against Team Axel, putting a lower ranked team to the sword there in Axel. And since CRR has joined them, they had a bit of a wobbly time at the beginning, but they have found their groove, Spaceman. They look stunning.
They really do. And I think they were kind of on parallel with discussions about Furia and Complexity, like which one of these teams is going to kind of break their mold first? Which one's going to start hitting their stride around the bend and start moving down that racetrack? And it really has been Complexity. They have mitigated the mistakes. They have found their offense much more quickly, and they look like they're playing a different level of Rocket League than what this roster has done for the past couple of weeks. And that's what's scary for a lot of teams going to this regional, is that they've had a different level. Complexity look fantastic. We already know about NRG, man. There's a lot to break down there, but Complexity is a tough opponent.
Okay, chat, what do you got? Do we still have the fans behind them, or are people shifting towards that Complexity side? Hashtags in the chat right now. We'll tally them up in a minute. Let's see the desk, because I would presume this is going to be across the board Complexity. There's no way it's not. Spaceman, the contrarian.
Oh, what's happening here? Listen, I like content, okay? Like I'm giving our bosses what they want. I'm giving the content. Listen,
Listen,
all right.
Did someone just DM you? You're fired.
I just threw a shade at NRG less than a minute ago. So it's only fair that I take them in this series. 1, because it gets Complexity fans happy, so we're not cursed them. But 2, because as good as Complexity have been playing, and as underperforming as NRG have been for what seems like a decade, I honestly think at this moment in time, NRG are going to create an upset, and they're going to put a wrench in the plans of Complexity, and they're going to ruin Complexity's day. So,
How?
I'm not going to give you that answer. We'll find out. I'm not going to tell you why. It's a prediction. You get what you get.
We're not here to do an analysis on the desk analysis section.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I'm not
Chat.
an analyst.
What are you picking here? Are you signing up? Wow. Okay.
They're loyal.
Yeah,
I'll
The
give them
belief
that.
is there. The
Fair
fans are
enough.
loyal. You said it. Well, we're going to find out now, Cole. If NRG can shut down a Complexity and shut you and I up.
Well, okay, so I thought that was going to be across the board predictions for Complexity. I hadn't seen that you changed
It was.
yours,
It
Spaceman.
literally was,
So now
yeah.
you're no longer Desk Spaceman, you're now Caster Spaceman.
Thank
How
you.
are NRG going to do this?
Well, I think they're going to have to limit Raze Bull. A lot like the Fury SSG match where you have to limit Daniel, limiting Raze Bull and taking him off the ball, whether that's physicality, whether that's quick passes, like we've seen from NRG. You're going to have to take possessions away from Raze Bull and specifically CRR. This is a very potent, powerful three-man Hydra that you have as an offensive unit on Complexity, but I've been really impressed with Squishy's play this season. He's been one of the standouts lately for this NRG roster that's, again, had issues even stemming back to last season. Squishy's passes and downfield play have been stellar. He's always been great at it. I think he's going to be a catalyst for this team.
Yeah, Squishy's been delicate. He's had his moments, hasn't he? But then when things go wrong, you can almost sense his head start to drop. So I think that's what I'd say for NRG. If things do start to go wrong, and they have started to go wrong already today by losing that Game 5 against V1 and also losing that overtime in Game 4 when they could have won it, I want to see them standing up strong. You know, maybe they don't win this series. Maybe they're not as good a team as Complexity anymore, but they have to continue their game. That's it. Get in the way. Cool that ball. Squishy's coming in, and he just puts it on the roof of AJG. And AJG, the player you didn't mention, but he's not bad himself either, Spaceman, as he air dribbles from one side to the next and sends it all the way back into NRG territory. But I would say that so far, this is seeming like one of NRG's better series, or better games, should I say. They look comfortable, they look pretty quick, and they're in tandem with each other. The decisions are good. And Justin, he is their talisman. That's the man they want to get on the ball.
Yeah, and if you're looking at kind of the top two players maybe on the field, you're, again, looking at Raze Bull and really Garrett. Like, those are the top two you're going to have to deal with, right? Like, Justin's, again, always a threat, always a problem, but Raze Bull is the catalyst for the offensive Complexity, and if they're going to get going early, you're going to do it through him.
Look at the pace of Raze Bull there, getting the 100 boost and just dribbling around every single player from NRG, running rings around all of them, keeping the ball on a string. And that's why you mentioned him as your Complexity player to watch at the start. You said if they can keep him quiet, well, so far they've not managed that, because that goal for Complexity was pretty much an example of what they can do, the reason they're making grand finals and coming forwards. But NRG are finding form themselves, and it's 1-1.
I mean, this is just, again, a great touch by Squishy to set it all up. This is what he does, and Garrett flies into the lane and finds the opening. That's the NRG offense you're used to. That's what you're going to get through this series. And it's a beautiful team play downfield.
It was old school. It was decision-making that worked out for NRG there. Squishy's first touch, sublime. EJG's on the other side, not bad either. We've already got a couple of goals so far in this first game. And since there are much more in it, as Garrett G goes over the top, he's wanted to be involved again as well, looking to double his goals scored early doors. Just been the only player from NRG so far not to be involved in a goal. So he finds AJG, wants to get the flip reset, not quite able to. Squishy's left on the goal line, and AJG was trying to bump Squishy out the way. Tried to be on that occasion, and Justin finds Squishy as well. So as you mentioned at the start, Spaceman, good to see Squishy involved in all these attacking plays.
Yeah.
Justin is just linking the plays for NRG. Squishy comes in again, it's saved by AJG. And then look at the composure from CRR, just prodding it towards Raze Bull in front of his own goal.
Yeah, I mean, NRG kind of known for their second touch game, right? And their ability to, again, thread that ball through those small creases to find one another. When that offense is clicking, they're very hard to stop, but you're, again, looking at kind of that opening trident that is Raze Bull and AJG and CRR that come full force down the field. They do not let up. We'll be interested to see how they're approaching maybe that slow zone defense NRG are known for, specifically the low boost game. Something that NRG's done very well in this split, in this regional so far, has been using very little boost to keep the ball out of the net. And Justin, one of the factors for that, looking back a couple of weeks ago, he had like 5 saves in a row in a couple of his series where he had 14 in the tank and was still finding great saves. This is a very good defense, but they're going to have to take everything they're given because they're going up against Raze Bull. But so far, it's been Complexity. Upfield, Squishy with a save, clears it out. Minute 53 on the clock.
It's Complexity's dribbling that seems to be really making NRG struggle right now. When they actually get the ball to the bumper of their car and can choose which way to send it, NRG is struggling to deal with it. So it's not pace, it's not necessarily aerial mechanics. It's good old-fashioned dribbles. But NRG, when they get it forward, they look likely to do something. Maybe going for that infield pass a little bit too much. something they've been guilty of a couple of splits now. And Complexity can come forward. Justin up against CRR, I think it was. So now AJG can link the play towards Raised Bull, who goes to the ceiling, has a reset here, gets a touch. Justin sends it away. So far, NRG not falling for any more of these Complexity tricks.
Well, you're still getting space here if you're Complexity. You're cutting in front of the last man up. Whoever's running point for NRG is not getting to the ball in time. Justin, easy save off the back wall. And he clears it, so positives here for NRG. You got some time to breathe before Raised Bull very quickly cut down the play. Squishy try to play this one low, bullied off the ball, left to Garrett. And Squishy's already up. Beautiful pass to Justin. Saved. Big one by that. Raised Bull with the epic dive, and it keeps NRG off the board here.
Yeah, just about did enough, not just with the save, but also to get it just on the other side of Garrett. Must have been frustrating for him coming forwards. I've seen the ball go across him, but Squishy gets a couple of touches again. He has been good so far in this game. Then forces a miss from CRR. AJG misses it himself. So CRR can go forward. 30 seconds left. NRG on the attack. AJG in front of Squishy, who no longer is on the pitch for a second or two. Garrett G's bumped by CRR as well, so the aggressive plays from Complexity, not something they're above by any means. Squishy's looked like one of the most lightly NRG players. Bundles it forward. No mechanics there, just 50-50 challenges, and good ones at that. And it almost worked out for NRG.
The NRG passing is just clinical right now, but at its credit to the defense so far, hold on of Complexity. Ball still up. Squishy misses it, but it rolled around precariously. It will touch Earth, and with that, they go to our first overtime here in this best of 5.
NRG will be very pleased with how this first game has gone so far. They make themselves feel even better. Garrett up against AJG, tries for the blip reset. Not quite there on that occasion. And then AJG can just send it forward. Justin up against Raised Bull. Raised Bull steaming in. He's done so much good work, Raised Bull, in these unexpected little pockets of the pitch. Justin has a player to his right, just sends it to the left instead. Raised Bull clears, but it might be only as far as Squishy. What can Squishy muster? CRR's up against him, the good 50-50 challenge. Justin comes in, and it's a great challenge from him as well. NRG winning the 50-50 game at the moment, but the ball just won't quite fall for them until Justin comes in at the far post, and Raised Bull closes them down.
Justin had to close in on that touch quickly. If he takes too long, that's a pop over, and that's a win in game 1 for Complexity. But then he falls off towards the corner, keeps the play alive. Nice communication out of NRG, and look what happens. Another open net. That's exactly what we were worried about just a couple of seconds prior, but Justin was still upfield, and Squishy puts it on a silver platter for Justin to finish it.
Yeah, Raised Bull, I think his wide rotations just ended up backfiring for Complexity in the end. He was off getting boost in the back left, when I think AJG was it who was left stranded? I think he expected a player behind him. Not to be. NRG take game 1. They do it their own way and leave. A bit of an upset brewing, maybe?
Yeah, well, just speaking that pretty early on here.
Brewing
yeah,
just when you put the kettle on, then it's brewing.
Okay, it started. Someone could still unplug the kettle at any point here. No, this is a good start. Again, watching this Mobile 1 high performance replay, NRG fans going to be happy because at the end of it, if you miss the game, you're going to find out that NRG took the dub. It was a close series, though. I mean, having to go in overtime, Spaceman, means it's not going to be. It's still going to be a back and forth matchup.
Yeah, look, as of late and as of recent, Garrett's been the best player right now in NRG, and he's proven that. But, a lot of people are wondering, why talk about Squishy? Why are we putting notice on Squishy? Like, he hasn't been playing that great. Look what Squishy's doing downfield. Look at how he's setting up his teammates. Look at the rebounds he's getting. Even there, you're expecting him to maybe clamp the ball on the side wall, and then AGG has time to maybe fall back and rotate. No, he sets it immediately up for Justin, and Justin closes out the OT. Those are the small things, the minutia that Squishy does downfield, whether it's rebounds or spacing, regardless. He is just a master of the second touch and knowing when to set up his teammates. That is the thing that doesn't show up on the scorecard, Leaf, that I think a lot of people overlook. The reason this NRG roster is still somewhat relevant right now is because even when you count them out, they find a way to connect with one another, and they still have that prowess in their own individual gameplay to be successful.
Well, game 2 will begin with Raised Bull trying to take out Garrett G, the man who you claimed is probably NRG's most consistent performer. I'll agree with you there for sure. As he goes round the back and just sends that one long. CRR, though, is already there. Garrett G comes again. Raised Bull from the side. It's going to backfire again. These mid-rotations for Complexity, NRG is starting to read them.
I mean, that's just a bad touch from CRR, right? Like, maybe you're thinking he's going to give it to Raised Bull. He's going to try to throw it towards the corner, but he leaves it on a floater, and Raised Bull does not cut into the lane quick enough. It is a bad touch and a very quick giveaway as NRG capitalize. They're already up 1-0.
Some great first touch from him. Squishy's to the side. Is he going to be found? No, not on this occasion. So AJG can just send it long. NRG looking really warm at the moment. You can see how they took version 1 to 5 games. If they had managed to win that series, we'd be on the cusp of a potential NRG group win. So it's unfortunate that's not quite the case here, but all you can do is win your next subsequent game, your next subsequent series, something NRG haven't been doing enough recently. But based on this evidence, I mean, they're getting stronger and stronger with each passing tournament again.
Yeah, they really are. And look, you know, I think the overwhelming discussion around them, one that's looming on their shoulders, especially it seems like V1, right? It's like, is the roster change going to happen? Are we going to see a different NRG or V1 regardless going into next season, next split? I think it's a valid one to have, but the better the NRG play, maybe the more confidence, yes, they get in their own abilities, but also just proving that this roster should stick together. I think this weekend is much more important than just making the major. It's also about proving that maybe they don't need to make a change, but we will see how that plays out because they've already dropped a series today. They lost to V1. They come into this one needing a win desperately in their group. For Complexity, they essentially have to get top 3 for them to fight for the qualification spot at the major, and this is a big weekend for them as well. Complexity have everything on the table to play for and really can't afford to lose games like this.
Yeah, I mean, Complexity, who so far this split have finished 2nd and then got to the semi-finals, going out both times to Gen G, you know, of which of course there is no shame at all. So a really high-performing North American team are Complexity, but right now they're struggling to put NRG to the sword to even get a foothold in this series. CRR might be able to change that. It's just wide again. And is this turning into a show where it's just wide for Complexity or just not there or just saved? And they look back and they think, this was so close, that was so close, but it wasn't to be.
And quick correction, again, a Complexity need a 5th through 8th finish to make it to the major. So a little bit less daunting than the top 3, right? You're not looking like a phase situation, but still, it just means you have to close out your group stages as quickly as possible. You don't want that pressure. But as this game has waned on and as the pressure has mounted, NRG have been very good at poking the ball free and winning possession back from Complexity.
Yeah, Complexity do not want to not finish top of this group and then have to go through sort of round 1 playoff match to make the major. That's the level of stress that they could do without, but so far they're going to have to put NRG to the sword. NRG might be about to double the lead here if he's got the redirect, and he has. It's 2-0 NRG.
I mean, one gets demoed in the process, but Razebull leaves it to Justin. Justin, beautiful reaction on that one just to get it downfield in time, and you're not going to beat Garrett on a one-on-one with that much space. He was already in the corner getting boost. He beat the defender to the ball. And again, like you're talking about these little touches, the winning the second battle. NRG do it almost better than anybody. That's a beautiful 50 and win by Justin. We saw it 2 weeks ago, almost a similar play. And now it's up to Complexity to right the wrongs here to get themselves on the board because they haven't scored and they're struggling to keep the offense upfield.
Now NRG are going to have a chance to show off their defensive prowess. As Complexity are going to come back and come forward pretty much non-stop from this point forwards. Razebull tries to find CRR and he does find CRR. Razebull still the difference when Complexity do score.
Razebull sets it all up beautifully as well. Around 2. NRG's got nowhere to go. And you just close in on the gap. Good response very quickly as well. You would like to see Complexity right their wrongs and get themselves back into position to potentially tie this game without burning a lot of time off the clock. But off the opening kickoff, it should be Complexity who have possession.
GG's going to send it forward. Garrett G is waiting for it. Garrett G gets it around the corner, but he loses his car in the process. So Razebull, he can get a couple of touches. One more maybe. Justin, more quick defending from NRG. They're definitely focusing on charging down Complexity as quickly as they can. Not letting them begin these air dribbles, but the bumps can happen both ways. Squishy was taken out, but Justin saved the day. Complexity up in the pace. AJG can only send that one above his own goal, though, and Squishy then takes out CRR. So, see a man down for a few seconds at least. Will NRG at least try to make the most of it? Not yet with Razebull coming forward. Razebull still the difference. AJG's coming in to finish what Razebull started. And he can't do it. And NRG escape and still have their lead.
Oh, he ripped it wide, but Razebull, hold on. Off the left post, kept out. Justin will clear it. There were 2 chances there for Complexity to tie this game. And now they have to fight on the defensive foot. How do they get back out to midfield? Garrett with all in the tank in the world to work with. Gets it around 2. You got Squishy on the left wing. The pinch down, the pass. Good connection there. Better reads defensively. Complexity do hold on, but how long?
Yeah, it did seem that it was going to be Complexity just barreling down on NRG to the end of this game. That's not been the case. Garrett G now is left isolated. But Garrett G does make the save. Squishy, all he can do is boom it forward. He knew Razebull would get that next touch. And he finds CRR. The flick reset is accomplished. Justin has to make this save and does. 25 seconds. NRG are holding on.
Oh, I don't know how that wasn't a demo. That might have been, that is a pixel away from taking out Razebull in the corner. Maybe that spells completely different look offensively, but 14 seconds to go. You got one swing here, one push up field if you're Complexity. That's a great start. That's a beautiful touch by CRR, but he can't win the 50. AJG the center to Razebull, still alive. Razebull again, he gets 2 touches. CRR finally finds the back of the net, and we're tied up with 2 seconds to play.
This is how Complexity keep making the late stages in these tournaments. They just do not give up. You always got the sense there was going to be one last opportunity for them to equalize this game number 2. And when it came, it was CRR. He had the whole NRG goal in front of him. This one's up as well. It might be even better for them. AJG gets the flip reset. It's over the top. CRR's coming in. But Justin is able to force the overtime. Can NRG win their second in a row?
Oh, I'm going to have a heart attack. Oh, God. Here we go. Into OT. All of a sudden, things get very, very interesting. Razebull, oh, he's right upfield. He beats Justin. No way. Into the corner we go. Things are starting to get dicey, and you're in a bit of a panic mode right now defensively. If you are NRG, you're just looking for a clear. Get back to baseline. Reset everybody. But possession to no one for the moment. Justin will try to keep this one alive.
And does so as well. Garrett G's there. Could be able to finish what he started earlier. Garrett G turns it around and takes the overtime.
Oh, he's the best player on this team for a reason. Justin off the ceiling. Garrett on his lonesome. I mean, it's an easy read, but CRR just waits too long to make that jump. That's a beautiful position and location from Garrett. The placement on that touch. And NRG steal away a game 2, and they now lead 2-0 in this best of 5. I didn't expect the OT to go that quickly, but Leaf, okay, here we are. Here we go.
Yeah, here we are. Well, I got a question, because I feel like a goal like that, while fantastic awareness from Garrett G to get up there and a good slotted pass, is generally I feel like Complexity is a team that is meeting a lot of those passes. They have that speed to get there. And because I've been half watching the other ones, Cole, do you feel like it's Complexity not playing to the fullest, or is this an NRG on the step up?
I mean, I think that if Complexity were playing at their fullest, then they would be beating NRG, like, straight up. So already by default, the answer is no. They're not playing at their fullest. But they're still playing okay. They're not disastrous by any means. NRG are beating Complexity fair and square, and it's a better-looking version of NRG than we've seen for quite some time, Leaf.
Well, I want to give you guys some updates since we didn't get them last time. We have a couple potential sweeps on the board here. Version 1 is up 2-0 on Team Axel. We have NRG obviously up 2-0 on Complexity. Then there's Space Station Gaming up 2-0 on Ghost. Optic is up 2-0 on M80, which I think is a big win.
Surprising.
Because I hold M80 pretty high regard right now. And FaZe Clan is up 2-0 on Knights right now. So a lot of potential sweeps on the board.
So normality seems to be resuming over at FaZe HQ. We'll keep an eye on that one. Let you guys know if that remains the case. A reminder, you can go and watch any of these series being played out right now on the various team streams. Just check Twitter and check around to see where you can watch each and every one. We're going to stay right here where NRG have got a 2-game lead against Complexity. Complexity who have to make the quarterfinals at least to guarantee their place in San Diego. So maybe it's those nerve spacemen starting to come through while they're not quite at their best.
Yeah, a lot of results don't kick in until round 3, and that's where we start to see the disparities, whether it's in the points or the situations that need to happen. But the last thing you want is have to leave it up to chance. You want to be in control of your own destiny if you're Complexity, and winning a series like this does matter. It should have been essentially a favor matchup for them, but NRG just looked like the more complete roster as of now. Complexity not playing up to their skill level. NRG very much taking what they're given and capitalizing on a lot of the small gaps and the mistakes defensively the Complexity are leaving on the field. And it's wondering, how are things going to turn around for this Complexity roster? How are they going to slow down the NRG passes? Because going into this series, that's one of the things we talked about before everything kicked off was the passing game, the second touch win percentage of NRG and how good they are at finding one another. You have to slow that down if you're Complexity.
Well, Complexity are getting the ball in pretty dangerous positions, but NRG defending doggedly in their own goal, not afraid to triple stack their own goal line if that's what it takes to keep Complexity out. They've got some games to play with now, got some breathing room, but we've seen from NRG before that 1 second they can look comfortable in a game, in a series, and the next something just goes terribly wrong for them and they look like a shadow of their former selves. Even this split, you think back to the first regional of the winter split when they were up against G2 in the quarterfinals. I think they lost it 4-1. And each and every game you were thinking, they could have won that. They could have. But now NRG have become a team that just seem to not somehow or another. So they're going to be able to change that here as Garrett G goes high. Razebull, who has looked so dangerous to NRG, can only get a touch into the center. CRR booms it long. Justin wants to take out AJG, but can't quite do it. And Garrett needs to get this boost, isn't able to. Raise ball, just as I was saying he was getting quiet, he finds a little bit of space and he ain't gonna miss.
And he was the one to open up the offense in game 1, and he's been quiet since, but finally here he comes, right back up the gut. Beautiful placement on that touch as well. Best defenders in the world probably aren't going to get a finger on that. It was just nicely read by Razebull. And that's the kind of confidence you'd want from your primary striker on this team, who kind of leads the offense, a catalyst for how quickly they can turn things around on a dime. Now for NRG, question becomes, all right, you lost the lead. Ooh. You get it back in OT. Now here in game 3, you're down a goal. Can you keep it going? I think it was a little bit high for AJG. Not sure if he was setting up a pass or just kind of missed his touch, but regardless, it could have been 2-0 very quickly for Complexity.
I mean, NRG are still yet to have a shot in game number 3, so they are at risk of making the mistake of being too passive on a couple of games up. I mean, even that one could have been registered as a shot, which wasn't, so according to the statistics, they're still yet to shoot in game 3 as Squishy's on his own backboard. Dribbling around the ball a little bit. Garrett's coming in, and that has been a good key for NRG. Having Garrett arrive at the end of a teammate's dribble and send the ball goalwards, maybe something they've been working on. Almost worked again, but Complexity starting to aware to it.
I mean, it's been efficient. He's gotten a couple of goals because of it, and he finds the OT winner in game 2. But this series on match point. And with that, keep an eye on the clock. 1:45 to play. You got a lead here for Complexity. Now can they hold it? And for NRG, I mean, you feel like whenever they're downfield, they have an opportunity with how quickly they can find one another. As Justin will look for the clear, and he will be successful for his efforts. Garrett can't get there in time. Corralling this possession is Razebull. Back to the midfield we go. Justin, the only defender back for the moment, but does enough to at least stall out and intercept down where Garrett can find possession.
Yeah, but Razebull still looking absolute quality. Whenever he gets the ball and has some boost, he's pretty much able to put the ball wherever he wants it to be on the pitch. Here he comes again. Backboard this time off the corner. Not quite able to get the shot on target. AJG was arriving just in case Razebull missed. The ball bounced a bit more favorably towards him, but Justin can tee up Squishy. That one might be sneaking in. No, AJG saves at the near post. A rare 4-0 forward for NRG in game 3, but it's not quite a goal for them.
They still have possession here, though. You have a lot of boost here for Razebull. He should just continue to fight these 50s, and he does so. You get a demo out of it. You're rewarded for your efforts. The power play here for Complexity. Now it's gone. Back to an even split for both teams. Justin, instead of leaving on towards the backboard, he's going to fall back to midfield. I've seen Justin prioritize his rotations more and more in the past couple of weeks. He's been a great defender for this squad, and he's really done a great job of setting up Garrett and setting up Squishy, and vice versa. Everybody on NRG doing a nice job of finding one another as Garrett will try to play it low, but Razebull has the read.
Yeah, there's a decent technology right about now, and there has been in the last 30 seconds or so, but they're going to have to keep on forcing, because a goal for them right now would be very interesting in the context of this series. Justin should be able to win this one cleanly, but no, Razebull yet again too quick. Squishy can't win the race against AJG. And Justin and CRR, it's every Complexity player just blocking NRG at source right now. Should be able to squeeze the life out of them. One more goal would help. That would really kill it. But not to be, but we are in 0-second territory. NRG have to win these races and can't. Complexity get themselves back in this series.
The closest shot there was maybe Squishy's floater that barely got saved in the end, but that was really just a beautiful midfield control from Complexity. I mean, look, they had 7 shots in total to NRG's 3, but it always felt like Complexity had an answer, whether it was getting physical, challenging the 50s, contesting every touch. They weren't giving NRG the space they had in the opening start of this series, and Complexity did a very, very good job of keeping NRG on the back foot and limiting the creativity offensively. I mean, look at it. Garrett, 60 points compared to what he had prior in the other game with like 631 if memory serves, which it never does. Like, this was a beautiful play for the entire Complexity squad. Look at their Mobile 1 high performance replay. Leave thoughts on so far in game 3, Complexity stay alive in the series.
Yeah, well, I mean, potential for the reverse here. You know, that's why I said to Colt, don't you know, there's got to be a phrase for it. Something about a kettle.
The brew was brewing, all right?
There's got to be something about counting chickens, but to do with kettles. There's got to be something to do with it.
I think we've already talked about chickens too much on this broadcast, to be honest.
Don't drink your tea before the kettle's boiled. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, did we just come up with one? I don't know. But either way, other matches are completed.
Don't link me. Don't say we. This was all you, man. You're
we're in this. You're sinking down with me.
I'm so lost. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Base Clan finished their sweep 3-0. Optic finished their sweep 3-0 against them.
No way.
Version 1, 3-0 over Team Axel, and Space Station 3-0 over Ghost Gaming.
Cool. Okay, some interesting results starting to come around. And this one is an intriguing place in this series. I still don't completely trust Complexity in this series, Spaceman, but surely as they're warming up, I mean, they must be close to favorites despite being a game down.
I mean, I think if you ask the majority of normal chats, not energy stacked chats, yes, I think they would absolutely be the favorites. But that's kind of, again, even in energy's worst days, that's the dangerous power of the squads. You never are going to count them out when things like this continue to happen. Squishy sets up everybody, and Justin finds the goal.
Fair enough. Squishy rolling back the years and just knocking Razebull out the sky. Justin was aware to it as well, and that's been the key difference for NRG today. We have had moments there in the past, in the last few months, where, let's say Justin comes forward and he gets the flip reset and then a bump. And you look around, you're thinking, where's Garrett G? Garrett G's nowhere. Okay, where's Squishy? He's picking up boost. And you just put your head in your hands and you think, oh, how has that not turned into a goal?
Yeah.
Today, those moments are turning into goals. The comms are so much better and the belief is there.
I mean, this offense that we're seeing in this game alone has looked much more like the offense of old for NRG than what we saw in the past couple of weeks. Granted, NRG's had some pretty decent results for this rostered standards and how they've been struggling, but this feels like the NRG we are accustomed to, and the defense hasn't had to work overtime to keep them in games. And that says both a lot for Complexity, but also it just seems like maybe, when you have to rely on players in big stakes moments, in big weekends, you're going to rely on NRG. And if they keep this up, they are a force to be reckoned with going into the latter part of this tournament. Regardless, it's still round 2, still plenty of rounds to go. And we'll see if they can close it out on Coliseum. For Complexity, what needs to change, Cole? We talked a lot about the 50 game. We talked a lot about the creativity and offense, but sometimes it's just one thing. Sometimes it's simple. What is it you're seeing that has to turn around?
I feel like they're over-relying on Razebull just a bit. When they're looking at their best, it's when Razebull gets control of the ball. And that's not always going to be the case. There's still so much more available from AJG and from CRR. And CRR is such a great attacking player in his own right. He is more than capable of attempting the carry role and just trying to keep the ball to himself a little bit more. This could be an instance. He just... Oh, okay, that was the right decision. Well, that was a pretty poor shot, but apparently it's worked out.
I mean, it's going to be easier when you have an enforcer upfield who can just bully his way towards the net.
Justin was sideways. Okay, yeah.
Nice play. That's all I got to say on that one.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I was completely wrong-footed myself there. I didn't realize Justin was sideways. I thought he was facing the ball and be able to get it, but CRR knew. So that's exactly what I was asking for. CRR to take the initiative a little bit more. I understand that it's a high-pressure situation for Complexity right now when they are so close to this major. And CRR will be incredibly desperate to make it, having moved in the off-season to North America. I think of all the talk of Gen G, people forget that CRR has done and Furia as well. People forget that CRR has done the exact same thing. He has those same pressures, and he has to shoulder that.
And look, Complexities was one of the first teams to move to a new region and stake their claim as we're going to compete here for the long haul. And look at the gauntlet they had to go through originally about a year ago. That's a missed waterfall. Okay, Garrett, whiff, but luckily Squishy's there defensively, and Garrett will get the call back to clear. But Complexity were one of the first teams to move to that new region, and they went through a gauntlet of some of the best teams in North America, and they were constantly fighting for top 6 qualifications, so they know what the stress is like. They know what they have to do to keep themselves involved in these regionals, to keep themselves involved for qualifications at majors, and it's plays like this from AJG, who's been pretty quiet this series.
Yeah, but CRR getting involved again, having that belief, having the bravery to go for the bump. I don't know if he actually got the bump, but I'm sure that hearing CRR go up for the ball as well put a little bit of confusion on the NRG defender. And suddenly they are the ones who find that they need a goal back. With 2 minutes left, Complexity warming up now. AJG into the center. This could be 3. Razebull raced up against Justin. CRR's coming in again. He has come alive in the last minute or so. NRG can counter perhaps. AJG, fast, quick. The Complexity so much more, the decision-making good. Now here is Razebull. Quite able to do enough there. But it's definitely looking like this is going to be Complexity's to lose from this point forwards. They suddenly are flowing about the pitch and looking like much the better team.
And this is where that conversation around Complexity forcing their own mistakes was really a prominent discussion in the past couple of weeks. Now it's up to them to close this game out and send it to Champions Field. The same iterations we had with Furia, same thing with Complexity. Can they limit the problems, and can they keep themselves out in front of this game? If they do so, we're going to that 5th and final game of the series, and what that does for the entire bracket, or the entire group, I should say, it's really interesting, because then you're looking at a potential chance for Energy to go down 0-2. You're looking at Complexity, who just need to win this to really keep their hopes alive. There's so much on the line for both these teams, and if CRR is continuing to bully his way forward with the ball, I mean, you're looking at a very interesting Game 5 coming up, because Complexity look like they're almost there.
NRG are going to have to get on with it. 1 minute remaining, and they are struggling just to get out of their own half. CRR, though, misses. That lets NRG in. Garrett can close down AJG, but AJG's 50-50 game has really improved in the last game or so. Garrett is actually sending that one back to his own half as well, so that's not too impressive for NRG. This could be the chance they need. Squishy up against CRR. Raceball from the side. Justin wants to take out AJG. There was a boost steal as well. NRG just waiting for that one final touch to try and knock things off Complexity's stride. 30 seconds left. Can they force it?
Under 30 to play. Garrett, Squishy, almost the cut down. But now an escape. But very little, if not zero, boost in the tank. There's nothing here for Raceball to work with. I mean, that was an open counterattack downfield, but Raceball just couldn't get anywhere. If you're NRG, you like this. You love this opportunity, but they got to keep it on the blue side of the field.
Yeah, Garrett's run out of boost, though, and the pass was just too far in front of him. Never seemed too likely for NRG to get back into it, and then Squishy's totally faked out, and it does lead to a Game 5. The second Champions field in a row here on the mainstream, so fair play to the picks. These have been some good ones. And yeah, I mean, Complexity, they seem comfortable, Spaceman, in just easing their way to victory now in this series.
And as the series has gone on, look at just the limitation of shots from both teams. We started off in games 1 and 2 with a flurry. Now we're looking at 5 shots for NRG, 4 for Complexity, and Complexity still eventually take this 1-2-1. It's been limited opportunities, but possible chances for both squads. And with that, we've seen Complexity really capitalize on the physicality on the goal line. You saw it with Raceball there in the Mobile 1 high-performance replay. You see it with CRR and AJG trying to get physical downfield. I mean, AJG just threw a shot from no man's land, and it landed downfield. That is where Complexity are at their strongest, when they're just taking chances and they're trusting the physicality they're so used to. Leaf, NRG have their work cut out for them going into Game 5. For a series, they were up 2-0 in.
Woo! We're potentially right, Cole.
Yay! Woo!
Maybe that back in itself could have jinxed it. This and only 2 other matches are going on right now. G2 Furia is going on again. We have team streams going on. I would advise keeping open at least the Furia stream, because Jorby's over there right now and he's getting real loud because Furia is up 1-0 with 40 seconds left, potentially about to take down G2 in game. No, in game 4. They're up 2-1, so they're about.
It could be game 1. He'd be loud. He'd be like, we're going crazy.
And the other match right now, Dignitas Shopify is actually in a game 5 with a minute left.
Ooh.
So, yeah, come down to the wire.
Yeah.
Well, it's all coming down to the wire here, Spaceman. Game 5. Do NRG, talk to me. Surely defense has been breached right now. The belief must be gone. Complexity winning 2 games in a row.
I mean, surely, yeah, but you're also asking NRG to not play stylized and consistent Rocket League. It's something this trio is known for, something they've done for, 7 years now? So it's going to be tough to get these 3 players individually uncomfortable in a match in a situation like this. But if you're Complexity, don't stay timid. Don't play flat foot. Continue to put the pressure on NRG to make these defensive saves, to make these commits, and to force those challenges on the backboard. Like we've seen, it's a beautiful spread, and CRR gets involved early.
Complexity are fighting to get their 3rd reverse sweep this season. A team that just never say die, but always believe they are in any given series. And right now, they're facing a wounded NRG. Surely Complexity are filling their boots at this point. 1-0 up. 45 seconds gone. Could get even worse for NRG. Justin misses Sierra. Can he get that one on target? Not quite. It remains 1-0. Maybe NRG can counter. Justin's chasing AJG. Garrett wants to get it over the top of AJG. It hits the crossbar. And another one of those not quite moments for NRG. It remains at 1-0.
That fake from Raceball in the prior goal was just a thing of beauty. Put that in a top 5, but here we go. Very quickly, the counterattacks start to blossom from NRG, and Justin's going to have to fight off one lone defender in the back, but you're seeing this consistent pressure, the winning the 50 game, the winning the extra touch that's kept Complexity in this series for the long haul. And now in the Champions field, they have a lead to work with, and you're going to see them get aggressive. They're not going to sit on their laurels. They're going to push the pace on NRG, and it's up to NRG to fight back and find some rhythm.
Lee, some interesting results coming in around the board.
Yeah, they are finished off. This will be the last one here. We have Shopify finishing the win against Dignitas. I didn't tell you before Genji got their win. They did lose a game to Quake, but they lost it. And then also just a cool thing here, Complexity winning this will be their 3rd reverse sweep this season. And the 2nd time NRG has been reverse swept. So, a little bit of
fun for NRG, isn't it?
Maybe shell-shocked eyes maybe on NRG coming into this game 5.
Well, Justin's going to send it long towards Squishy, and AJG, though, is already up. Complexity reading NRG perfectly, even though CRR can't quite get that tough angle. It falls to NRG. They're defending deep, and I thought NRG are falling to the trap right now, Spaceman, because they're just booming the ball forward time after time, and there's always a complexity player there.
Well, the offensive looks for Energy haven't changed in this Game 5. They're still looking for those long clears and those long passes for a redirect, but you're starting to see Complexity meet that challenge now. They're not giving Energy the free space they had before. They're taking the ball away and intercepting those touches, and you're seeing the results of it. The catalyst here, Raisbull, beautiful read, follows through on the ball. CRR just clears lane, and you got a 2-0 lead with a lot of time on the clock, but a very confident Complexity.
Complexity players, Complexity fans surely starting to believe they've steadied this ship, and they are looking more and more comfortable against NRG. Surely they can take this series from here, but NRG, they are still dangerous. They do have Justin, they've got Garrett, they've got Squishy, and they've got Garrett just about holding out right there and setting that one down the line. Remember that no teams will qualify for the major until Series 3 is over, so nothing is over just yet, but it's looking better and better for Complexity.
That's a big stop by Justin. Again, that one's prowess so huge, and the individual play keeping this one alive. Justin follows up. Squishy, wide, still around. Garrett gonna send it, and Raisbull very quickly denies the shot. Blocked out. CRR will look for the clear. But there's kind of your first real look for NRG, right? The sustained drive downfield, everybody getting a chance for a shot. Now, how do they follow up with it? Because we talked about, well, there's like 2 minutes and some odd change on the clock. Now the time is dwindling away. You're not getting that many opportunities. And if you're Complexity, you're going to try to continue to kill this ball and just throw it downfield.
That was a little bit scary from Squishy. I think that ball was halfway in the goal. He did somehow endeavor to keep it out, and Raisbull, though, is teed up AJG. Justin again slightly awkward in defense. NRG can't get rid of it. They're keeping it out just. But how long can it last when Complexity rotate this well and when they've got Raisbull?
I mean, you can't really blame Justin for that. He's so low, and he just tries to play it out. That's beautiful follow-up from Complexity. There's really no one else around to help. Squishy trying, Garrett on the opposite corner. The resources aren't there for NRG, and the presence isn't there in the space. The gaps are open. Complexity 3-0. You got 60 seconds, maybe, and a realistic chance to keep this one alive, but as it continues to dwindle away, if you're Complexity, just keep popping the ball high and forcing NRG to burn boost.
So Group D is looking like it's going to go into a really interesting place, assuming that Complexity can go away and see this game through, as CRL almost gets a 4th goal in this Game 5. They'll go up against version 1, Spaceman. Hang about. I was going to say the battle to win the group, but maybe there's a life still in NRG.
I mean, that's the play they tried to do 2 minutes ago to get Justin Squishy in position that eventually got cut down and led way to a 2-0 lead for Complexity. Finally, it lands. But is it enough? Hold on. Chat's probably going crazy. They're like, wait a minute, you're telling me it's winnable? Is there copium here? I think there is. Into the corner. Justin with a beautiful read. He skates it around too. Squishy can't fight against the 50. And Raisbull recovers off that bump and still kills the play. That is just absurd. That's insane. With 0 boost, Complexity are thanking that he's on their squad.
Yeah, well, Complexity have done brilliantly as a team to manage to calm things down. Just with NRG, we're going to start to chuck everything at it. Complexity have just kept them at arm's length. Make sure that nothing silly is going to happen right here. Every touch they're making now is just ensuring even more they're going to take this series and complete the reverse sweep. Complexity on the cusp. If they can win against version 1, they will top their group and they will make the San Diego Major. They go within 1 series of being able to do it. A team that haven't been at a major since fall of last year. GGs are called in chat. This one is over. The reverse sweep is completed, but for Complexity, Spaceman, the work has only just started.
This is a good way to start it, though. You want to be tested early in these kinds of groups because you want to get all of the small mistakes, the small iterations out of the way so you can get back to what works for Complexity. Great offense that's led by Raisbull, counterattacks that are heavy on those long passes, and the physicality that's opened up those lanes. That's what Complexity is known for. That's how they feel comfortable. GG's all around. Complexity win this game 5 3-1, and they do so in pretty dominating fashion. Yes, I know it's Hopium, calm down. But anyway, Leaf, looking at the replay here, the entire series spread out. It really felt like NRG had the pulse for the first 2 games, and they did. But Complexity fought back. They kept it close, and in the end, that was what was the difference. They kept it close, and they found a way to win in the margins.
Well, again, I don't know if this is better or worse for NRG fans, the fact that it feels like everything's so close for them.
I think that it's sort of normal for NRG fans. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it didn't come through in my commentary, but when NRG were 2 up, I was thinking, they're going to get reverse swept though, you know, and they did. It's It happens way too often with NRG. It's quite disappointing. It always is bitterly disappointing, but for complexity, they won't be disappointed at all. I'm really happy for this squad and this roster. Very likable team, and on the cusp of San Diego now.
Well, we are still on our way to finishing groups. We got more to go. This one's all done. That was the last match in this. So let's wrap it up after. Let's get the break out of the way. We'll come back and get more Rocket League on its way. How about that? Come join us.
Tries to send one to the back of the net, and he will triple touch. You said the double might work out. How about a triple?
Oh my! Through this time, fire! Try to clear this away. Let's go with the back. Picks up the steam. It's still there for Decisive. He scored! Shaping up to be the game Carmine Court needed. Astral also coming off the ceiling. Oh! He's on a different plane! What was that? He's not real! I really like the adjustment from Nolly. Oh! Yeah, me too, Jeremy. I really like how Nolly's looking. 1-0 GG. He's looking real good after that.
I would love to see the stats from who has been picking up those pads a little bit more. We'll have to wait and find out, because Thad, he's got some ideas of his own. Composure from the great Canadian. And
Coming into the split, we didn't really have much of expectations. Our main goal was to just make top 16 again, and now we're fighting for the top 5, and those last 2 results have turned a lot of heads, which of course does up the ante a little bit and give a little bit more pressure, but at the same time, we've already overachieved more than we wanted to, so we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Sure, but that first goal is wiped away with a beautiful go-ahead from Lively.
Our main goal for this regional is to at least finish in the top 4. Of course, we'd want to win, and I believe we can as a team. We've performed really well against the top teams already, but our main goal is to at least get top 4 because that guarantees our best chance at making major without having to go into any tiebreakers or anything like that.
Off the bar, still open for kids stay, and finally M80 get on the board.
Making San Diego would be a huge accomplishment for us, not only as individuals, but as a team, because we just formed just a couple months ago and now we're really starting to prove ourselves. It'll help our world's chances a lot making the major because we had a very poor first split, but just making it to an RLCS LAN itself is important to me, especially because I've never been to an RLCS LAN. So making San Diego is definitely on the forefront of our minds right now.
Abject was too slow to get out, but it's not going to matter. They're going to get one back. Percy through the corner, weaving around the defense.
For this last regional, we really want to come out of the gate swinging. It'll be very important to us to take the early games, especially against FaZe in our group, and then later on into the tournament once we get to the top 8. And hopefully we catch a lot of teams off guard. We take those first few games, and then we can overall close the series towards the end. But that'll be the biggest thing for us, is being aggressive out of the start.
Demoing him, taking him out, and then Lion Blaze sends it back to the bottom of the net. That is how you get it done. OT win for M80.
She found a way into my heart. Oh, oh, she don't make up, no, she make art. And I need a way to treat it, 'cause I keep getting high off of her. Off of her. I know that you'd be bad from the minute I saw you. But somehow I keep running back to you. Back to you. Back to long nights can get me feeling lonely. Hey. And hearing music that can make me smile. But the way I feel with her cannot be explained. But one thing still remains on my mind. I know that you'd be bad from the minute I saw you. But somehow I keep running back to you. Back to you. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad, bad, bad. I know that you'd be bad.
We carry on here on day one as we hit the halfway mark in the RLCS. The North American Invitational continues on. I'm Leaf. Stacks and Achieves have decided to join me. How friendly of you guys, Achieves. Thank you for joining.
Yes, glad to be invited. I'm glad that I can just show up whenever.
I'm glad you guys got the invite, Stacks. It was sent by Pigeon.
Yeah, right. Gee, I can hear everything twice because I still have the stream up. Hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have been disoriented.
That is very disconcerting. But hey, what a wild, wild day we're having. And we kind of knew it would be here in day one of the Invitational.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the round results in case anybody for some reason was just joining in right now and they weren't really caught up with what was happening. Last round, here's our matchups. Again, round one, the Chiefs felt like it was a little more, a couple of results, a little off kilter there, but a little more on target here. I guess Optic M80 is maybe one I wouldn't have predicted.
Optic continuing the push. Don't know what's going on with them today, but they're playing well. You can't hate it. So looking forward to see if they manage to advance and see what they can do over the weekend, of course. But you're not out of the woods just yet. Complexity, I mean, obviously we just saw NRG kind of implode right there, so tough.
Let's take a look at the overall groups here as things start to get near the end. We have one more round, Stacks. We have a couple 2-0s across the board. At least each group has one. But, obviously, with not every team falling in line perfectly, there's potential teams can end up tying around here.
Oh, yes, there are. There's a lot of potential for tie breaks, three-way tiebreakers. Listen, it's very simple if you're like Complexity. If you beat V1, you clinch a spot in the major. Great. But over in Group C, it can start to turn into a little bit of a mess if G2 wins this series and Furia beats Ghost. And if Furia does it in 4 games and it takes exactly 41 minutes, then the whole Invitational's canceled. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on here in this round with tiebreakers, and D-Rect is going to be the absolute MVP of the day, keeping us updated on what results mean what as we go on.
Yeah, well, I also saw, I don't know if you saw Gibbs threw some in there as well.
In Group C, it's simple for Space Station. They win here, they top the group. G2 needs a win, and they need Furia to lose. Furia needs to beat the team they're playing, which is Ghost, and they need G2 to beat SSG. It's just
you got that, chat?
Wild. Yeah.
I'm just going to keep looking at the chat. And
right? You have to say it again for me real slow.
Well, let's move on to the match.
Win your games. There's an idea.
That's fair enough. But if you do want to support your team's reminder, all these matchups are playing at the exact same time. Go support your team on the team streams. They'll happen around the board. If you do want to just hang out here, I'll be watching all these matchups. I'll give you some updates as we go along. But here on the main stream, the matchup we're going to focus in on and get down and dirty with is going to be G2 facing off against Space Station Gaming. Some classic names achieved in the North American region as they faced off in our third round.
Yep, old school in some degrees, new school in others. Of course, a lot of returning faces we all know, but that's the real question is there enough firepower, I think, for me to pick a team like Space Station over the old tried and trusted G2 squad? And that's always the interesting debate when it comes to a match like this.
Yeah, it really is. But chat, I want to know what you're thinking. We always like to get you involved. Hashtags in the chat, G2, SSG. Which team has the stronger fan base? This is the true testament. If your team doesn't win this right now, your fan base isn't as good. So you start spamming. Oh, wait. I hope we get a 50-50. That would be wonderful.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be brilliant. Start spamming away. Analysts, what are we thinking here? What do we got on the board? I think we put them in before. Let's throw them up. G2 is only getting 1 vote from Achieves this time. That's been the hot seat. That one's been the different one, I think, every time.
That's okay. I like G2. I know it's kind of been a little hit or miss recently. G2 looking really hot, but when the chips are down, G2 has generally always tended to step up to the plate. So I think they'll pull one off here and end up going 2-1 in the
generally, I would say maybe that too, but coming into this weekend, SSG's stacks looks a little hotter to me.
Well, I saw something I haven't seen out of Space Station Gaming in a while during their earlier series. They had a good kickoff, so that tells me that things are actually turning around for the boys.
All right.
But I just want everybody to know, I hate your favorite team, and I wish it could all end in a 0-0 tie.
Okay.
Your favorite
we
team.
got close to the 50 there, but just slightly in favor of SSG. I guess the only way to find out is to actually get down there and let the teams play each other. Best of 5 ahead of you. We have G2, Space Station Gaming. Stacks, take it away.
So much on the line here for both of these squads as we look ahead to the San Diego Major, and not everything is secure for G2. Things could still go wayward for them, depending on other results if they don't manage to make their way through into the playoffs and go even deeper. So still some business to take care of as Arsenal almost sniped the top right. And what a start to this series.
And it's like, yeah, the shot's wide, but it's the clear from Atomic that really ruins the SSG follow-up chance. That was an excellent defensive stance from Atomic here. Of course, he's going to miss that one, and G2's just going to absolutely collapse here. They finally recover. A little bit dicey early on, so a lot of good early pressure from Space Station. That's what you like to see, because that's what I always want to know is, do they have the firepower? And right now, it seems like absolutely JNaps can't make it back in time. Space Station out in front first.
All out of everybody on the pitch. That's your leading scorer, Daniel. Open net. I'm sure he wishes they would all come that easily. By the way, G2 fans, I'm sure they're starting to worry a little bit about what I said about maybe not making playoffs. You'll know soon enough if Ghost don't sweep, then G2 can't possibly go fourth. So they've got that going for them at least, unless Leaf comes in at the end of game one and tells us, oh yeah, Ghost won, by the way. Then maybe you start to worry, unless G2 can take care of business here. Chicago threw one across, and LJ's there to collect with JNaps chasing him down.
Yep. No time to get all bent out of shape about things outside your control. If you're G2, you really just got to buckle down here and play the best series you can. And ideally, the best scenario is just go sweep all your opponents, and then you give yourself the best shot in all senses of the word.
All right, with all the talk of tiebreakers over the last few weeks and how things are sorted out, just win your games. It's a very difficult concept to understand at times, as LJ had that taken away by Chicago, and Arsenal will take over. LJ coming on, but Atomic intercepts. Here comes G2 looking for an equalizer, but Arsenal with the demolition. And watch the counter, it's developing slowly, and Atomic off the respawn cuts out the play, and Chicago will finish off the clearance.
Yeah, it was a pretty, at least a good setup, I will say, for that G2 counterattack right there. But unfortunately, they just didn't really have the boost, and they ended up tripping over each other on transition. So got to give a lot of credit to Space Station Gaming. They're limiting some of the options that G2 has at their disposal. A lot of great boost coverage. And actually, what? It's just open? No way. Why is it just open?
Professional Rocket League, that's why.
Oh, okay. So LJ got caught in the middle. I think Daniel might have got bumped because Atomic's out there in the net. I don't know. I'll have to go watch that one again after this series, because I don't know why in the world it was that wide open.
Could you put that goal on a graph for us, please?
Yeah. Where's my mini map?
Right. So here we go. Brand new ball game now. Right at the halfway mark is Chicago's going to lob one up for JNaps. See if G2 can harness a little bit of momentum here after getting the same kind of gift that they gifted Daniel and SSG. Waterfall down, and LJ's got it. Daniel has that kick out towards Arsenal. He's got JNaps to contend with. LJ and Chicago collide at midfield. And in the end, it's G2 with possession. Modest possession that it is. Shot on here, saved away by Daniel. And here comes SSG. I mean, it really is like fencing, just attack, counterattack, over and over and over again, and you cannot rest for even a moment.
G2 really trying to pinch one there, but they do set it up nicely for Atomic. Not able to really square that one up, but it does feel like G2 starting to adjust some of their challenge timing out there in the midfield, also trying to open up a few holes with demos. It's a good idea to get Space Station off their rhythm. There it is, Atomic again, physical on the backboard, and it sets it up. LJ, great job. Acrobat in the net. Dodging up and around and making a great save.
Atomic to play one further, but Chicago put on the brakes well behind him, so he could challenge that play from Arsenal. Atomic missed the corner boost, so Arsenal's going to be able to steal it. Going headhunting as well, force JNaps into the air. Chicago's got this, and LJ will just wrap around and collect in his own zone. Now Arsenal, with Daniel no longer on the pitch, means Chicago could play this. JNaps now up ahead, waiting for a juicy rebound. None coming, as SSG again play great tandem defense, and they don't allow those extra opportunities until now. The interception, JNaps gets to Chicago, and G2's got the lead.
Felt like a little bit of a lapse of awareness right there. You could see at the start of that replay, LJ kind of just walking up in the box, not really aware, I think, that there was more pressure to come. And as soon as he realized it, it was already too late. That ball got thrown back into the corner, quick out into the middle. And G2, great job to jump all over one. That was turning something out of nothing, just seeing a bit of a slow defense.
So now Space Station Gaming has to scramble here. 45 seconds on a ticking clock. And JNaps to Chicago. Naps waiting for the rebound. And Daniel going after Atomic. Now he can run downfield as well. Got Chicago out of the way. And that headhunter mentality at least gives SSG a chance. Chicago plays that away from Daniel. Now Atomic His shot on just a little high.
Ooh, Jane.
And a missed opportunity for G2 to put this game away. SSG has life now with 15 to go. Trying to pinball this around in front.
Oh,
LJ
goodness.
indirect for Arsenal, but Chicago got there first. And now with time winding down, Space Station Gaming's got to keep this in the air. Down to 3 seconds. Arsenal's got Daniel in behind. Got to get under this. He has Daniel and LJ waiting, but nobody could get a shot. Atomic will clear. And SSG have just about let this go by the wayside, though they still have a chance.
Oh, they
LJ
keep
for
getting the boost,
Daniel.
too.
Oh my goodness. LJ
not
again.
Oh, okay.
Now that'll do it. Wow.
Oh, man.
They gave it the old college.
Yeah, the hangs on is the right word. They were having to work overtime. Got a little bit worried there. G2, I mean, seeing JNAPS go up and dive on a challenge that was just way down range, and that really opened the door for a big late game Space Station last push. But that's why G2 has always had some pretty staunch defenders back there. They get it done with limited boosts, so hang on is I think the definite correct phrase to go with right there.
Well, if you are a fan of the Knights, then LeafX is about to be your least favorite person in the world. Leaf, what do you got for us?
Well, we have Group B already locked in, even before the matches are done. It is guaranteed the Knights will be the first team eliminated for the contention for Major there, as they will bottom their group. Optic Gaming topping their group, which is just phenomenal.
What universe is this?
Big turnaround, yeah.
What a turnaround. And you were telling me to just mentioning Ghost before, so I do want to mention what's going on with their matchup right now. They are currently 1-1 with Furia. They, I believe, won their first game, and Furia has won the second one there. FaZe Clan, the only team sitting at match point already against M80. They're at 2-0.
Well, there you go. G2 now cannot finish 4th place. By the way, they won game 1. So, good things going for G2. Can they continue on Forbidden Temple? We'll find out. I mean, Daniel had that early goal, and that was it until that big flourish at the end. JDAPS and Atomic combined for a little pinball action 7 seconds in.
Now, that's just a great read from JNAPS there on the sidewall. And LJ, he kind of gets put out in no man's land. Yeah, he's got someone behind him, but I think he actually makes the right decision there to go up the wall and try and get in JNAPS' face. It's just JNAPS made a really nice play getting around the back of that ball and able to dish that in the midfield. That was a tough one to handle and so well executed from G2.
Atomic trying to dance around all of the SSG traffic. And Chicago JNAPS, good communication as they just let this one split, go right back to the end line.
Hello,
and
Daniel.
They will work from the
they're
back
gonna
wall,
score!
And then LJ's just going to pick their pocket and walk it home. And this one just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's great control, right? But somehow JNAPS, I mean, as he cuts back to his own net and lets Chicago take that around his corner, JNAPS doesn't actually go for the boost in the opposite side. Someone from Space Station able to just drive down into their corner, steal the boost. Daniel comes off, picks the ball off, and then suddenly, the only defender who's back there, JNAPS has nothing in the tank, and they can't stop it. That was just I mean, it was a really good communicated play into a poorly executed one.
And nothing makes sense today anyway, so this is just par for the course. As Arsenal downfield all by his lonesome, waiting for his teammates to get back. LJ has. JNAP's there to harass him, but now it's Atomic. Nudged away from the play. Daniel, throw it at the net, hope something good happens. It has quite a bit in this series so far. Now Chicago. Atomic passing around underneath, and he's going to have to play this one from the back line, waiting for that corner boost to spawn, and it never did.
Always as soon as you drive off that pad, that's right when it spawns, but he's able to pick up that midfield and still get this G2 offense out in scoring position. This is not an easy one to play for Arsenal. Not a lot of boost, but he does freeze JNAPS, and that was really the biggest thing there, is he was the only one who could really put the pressure on you. And G2 seeing if they can get some long passing lanes down field and see if anything opens up.
Oh, there's the chance, but Arsenal pops this away. Daniel's got it around JNAPS. LJ's got to try to chase this down. Instead, Atomic is up by a mile. Chicago, it's still on the goal line and in. Chicago finds a way to give G2 the lead.
Yeah, LJ's the defender back here. He doesn't have any boost, and so he goes into the corner, which means Arsenal has to rotate back from the midfield, and he has an okay picture, but as he's driving back, he doesn't have a lot of boost either. And so it's not like he can really just go up there and fight Chicago, and I think Chicago, as soon as he realized Arsenal wasn't going to jump at it, he just took his best shot at it, and he nailed it.
G2 guaranteed at least 27 points, actually more because we know they'll at least be into the playoffs now. As Arsenal will pop one away for LJ to chase, and he's not able to. So again, G2 controlling the midfield, creating more and more opportunities for themselves. This could bank near the mark, and Chicago stuffed by Arsenal.
Great stop from Arsenal, and LJ again. He's been having to play defense in some really awkward spots. Gotten caught out on the back wall a couple of times, and it's really no fault of his. He's just trying to position himself as best he can. G2 moving that ball into some tough spots, and again, he's back there 1-on-2, but thankfully the shot gets away from Jnaps, and he couldn't really control the ball.
The team everybody is kind of looking at as we go through this third round, as Chicago will score. We'll get to that in a moment. 2 minutes remain, and G2 continues to press its advantage, and Space Station have not had an answer.
I mean, great job, Arsenal. I mean, way to even get a hand on that one. That was a perfect bounce for G2 off of that pinch from Chicago on the sidewall. Went perfectly into the middle. The fact they were even anywhere near stopping that is quite impressive, but just too many things to handle. G2 continue to press. Chicago wisely trapping the ball. Arsenal says, get out of here. Daniel with the uncontested clear. Here's really where you got to get that offense started if you're Space Station.
At Dignitas in their matchup. Chicago, I'm trying to make a point here. Oh my goodness. Daniel can't stop Atomic. Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about how physics work. Here's Daniel in the net. Pretty much a dead standstill. Atomic full speed. They both contact the center of the ball. What's that mean? Vector math. Atomic wins.
That's a goal in the RLCS. All right. I'm telling you, it felt like it was a full moon last night in CRL, and it's just carried over to today. There's a shot rolling through. Daniel, the low bouncer, gets through the defense. And SSG's back within 2. They've got some life here with 1:30.
That's a great bit of shooting from Daniel. The way he put that ball into the corner really kind of handcuffed Chicago. It was in just the right spot to where he couldn't turn around or challenge or bounce off the wall and try and jump at it. So he has to let it bounce out in the midfield, and Daniel puts a laser all the way to the back post. And Space Station not going away quietly here.
11 goals for Daniel here in the group stage, day 1 of the Invitational. Last chance for teams to get their points to qualify for San Diego. And SSG needs a boatload of them. As Arsenal trying to play patiently. Jnaps now with LJ charging in. Daniel underneath, and LJ couldn't quite find him. Arsenal was waiting across the way as well, and maybe just a little indecisiveness there by LJ. Not sure who to pass to. Either way, it's a missed opportunity for Space Station when they're not going to have a whole lot of time for many more of them. Daniel couldn't put this on target either. And G2's not exactly moving out of the zone at a rapid pace.
Oh, pass it. Oh, what? That's such a great touch. Daniel, I love that idea. I don't know how Chicago got the wheels on it to tip that one away. Thought for sure we were going to be looking at 3-2, but a huge play, and that will put game 2 on ice. Oh, G2 finding ways to stymie just some wonderful offensive ideas for Space Station. Sometimes it's just not there.
Anytime Daniel steps on the pitch, he is the star, but right now it's Chicago who's stealing the spotlight. 4 goals, make it a hat trick in this game. And G2 rolling through 2 games so far. They faced some resistance early on in this series, but it has been no doubt who the alpha has been here. That shot blocked away as well. Look, it's just not SSG's game to win, for sure. G2 rolls in game 2, 1 win away from a much-needed sweep.
Yep, much needed is the right way, and couldn't happen at a worse time if you're a Space Station player. I mean, you really need all the games you can get. Like you said, Points are important, and putting yourselves in a deep hole early on, never a fun situation to be in. But again, you got to give credit where it's due. G2 finding ways to keep out those dangerous Space Station opportunities. It takes perfect shooting for Space Station to get through them today, Leaf.
All right, Leaf, what do you got for us? What else is going on here? Who else is eliminated? Anybody?
Well, I've been M80 has lost their match against FaZe, but in terms of elimination, Furia is on the wire right now because they do, with a G2 win here, and them potentially about to lose against Ghost, they could be last in their group. Ghost is up currently 2-1 in the series. They're on match point. It is, I do believe, Fury's up a goal in that game, but Furia's definitely
not over yet.
Yeah, they definitely got their backs against the wall on this one.
Last life, never a fun place to be for sure.
There are a lot of teams that, if you hadn't watched the last year and a half or so, you'd go, oh, they should obviously be at the top. Not anymore. There is a new guard emerging here, especially in North America. A lot of new faces that are taking center stage, but one duo still remains. Chicago and JNAPS, who've been together, seems like since the dawn of time at this point. This goes all the way across. Surprisingly, Chicago didn't have the telepathic read with JNAPS to know that ball was going there, but here goes Daniel now, getting around Atomic, getting around JNAPS as well.
Leaky.
Then through Atomic. Only Chicago to beat.
Yeah.
And he did. LJ with Chicago just kind of dancing around on the goal line. Had to be aware of Daniel, had to be aware of LJ coming on, and he had no help.
Oh, and I mean, Chicago there is absolutely pretty much dead in the net. I mean, he sees Daniel get that light cut to the left with the ball, so he has to respect like some type of jump shot over his shoulders, but he just hits it quick off the wall. And again, where's that ball headed? Straight into the midfield. Chicago's sideways. He can't go out there. He's kind of just hoping against hope that it gets shot right at him. And once again, if Daniel's got a lane, he's going to make the best play possible to make it scoreable.
So Space Station scores first for the second game, but it does not matter as G2 have a quick answer yet again. It's Chicago, who's just about on a running riot at this point.
I should have went to Daniel's camera. He didn't have a lot of boost, but it's very possible he didn't even see Atomic coming the way he was dribbling that ball. Either way, great job from Atomic just rushing in, applying the pressure, and catch Space Station sleeping one more time.
I mean, Space Station have not looked comfortable at the back line at all. G2 has been able to create a lot of chaos there. Really only just got a dose of their own medicine with that opening goal here in Game 3. Daniel in a real tough spot yet again. It's been the theme. Chicago, it's kind of a fake challenge there.
Beautiful.
Daniel got around him, and can he get the tight angle to go? No, it goes harmlessly across. But LJ took the boost as Chicago had to be focused on the ball. Still an opportunity here for SSG. They can't keep this quite in. Daniel centering pass. That's going to get dumped deep into the corner. And this should be G2's ball if Atomic can get one more touch. And a little surprising that they haven't been able to actually clear the zone. It feels like they've been given all the time and space in the world.
Well, here you need to do it if you're Daniel. This one has to go to the corner for Arsenal. And of course, that boost isn't going to spawn. Going to make things a little bit more difficult. Space Station, again, they're moving the ball quite nicely. You got to give Space Station a lot of credit here. I mean, controlling the ball and really taking away a lot of those G2 options and not really allowing any strong counterattacks. That was great movement.
Well, LJ around Chicago needs one more touch to send it for Arsenal, and I don't think really Arsenal had a lot of faith in that touch coming out. Had he been in position for it, would have had a laser at almost point-blank range. Instead, we remain tied just after the halfway mark.
Daniel paying attention to the challenge timing there, realizing Chicago tipped his hand pretty early. Gets his team possession one more time. 2 minutes on the clock. Space Station making some good adjustments, but you got to translate into shots on target. Of course, only 3 for G2, but only 2 for Space Station, and Space Station's the team that needs wins.
Oh, good stop by Arsenal, but nobody else jumped on to possession. Still a tie ball game with 100 seconds remaining. Arsenal around Chicago, stopped by Atomic. And the G2 defense, once again, putting the clamps down on Space Station Gaming. Chicago, throw it up to the backboard, waiting for a rebound to come out, and LJ's got a great clear. Little doink onward, but not nearly close enough to the net as Atomic takes charge again. Dance around one. JNAP's looking to finish the job. No. Chicago, he's stuffed by LJ as well. LJ's put in a lot of work defensively here in game 3, and it's paying dividends for SSG.
Really nice job again preventing some... I'm not going to say those were super strong pushes from G2, but does prevent any extra chances. Space Station doing a great job finding ways to get the ball down the field, forcing G2 to reset. Give Space Station enough time to make sure they're ready. Now they steal the ball. You got to score here.
All sent away by Chicago and played further down, but this is SSG ball all the way. LJ running out of time as JNAP's got onto him, but there is Daniel. Pop that away. Arsenal will take this, though. LJ had jumped. He burned a little bit of boost on that play, and it could be costly. Atomic with the redirect to push it forward, and G2's got a late goal again.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea from Space Station, but it does demand perfect execution. You can see Daniel's touch trying to lay it down to LJ, not quite in the right spot. LJ can't get back to it. Arsenal knows he's got to play defense, and of course G2 throw one down there and let their stars do what they do best. They find a redirect. They score on the kickoff. It was a good try, Space Station, but it was not meant to be today.
Well, how about G2 stepping up in a big, big way when things were starting to look just a little bit sketchy for them, and maybe some results starting to go against them, taking care of business. They are on their way, well on their way, towards topping the group. They are going to sweep Space Station Gaming, barring something crazy now. Arsenal can't hit Daniel. Got to score right about now to give yourself a shot at a kickoff to tie. This is going the wrong way.
Score it.
It will eventually come to ground, and G2 with as clean a sweep as you could ask for to close out their day 1.
What can you say? As we mentioned, when the chips are down, G2, they pull out the big guns, and that's what they did right here. It was a lot to ask for Space Station, I think. That G2 team was willing to kind of take their punches when they had to on defense, and there was more than 1 or 2 times that series where Space Station really had them on the ropes, and G2 buckled down and got that clear out some way, somehow. They were able to hold down the fort and keep Space Station out of the net for just long enough, more than once.
Well, as we look back at the Mobile One high performance replay from a dominant G2 sweep here to close out group stage, Leaf, what does that mean for them? How is Furia doing? Because that's the other result that G2 was looking at.
Well, there's 2 things I want to talk to you about right now. We're going to be, since this is done, we're going to be watching a couple of these. Furia Ghost, game 5. It is currently 1-0 in the first minute here for Furia. But I do have to let you know that there has been another elimination, and that's going to be Koi. They have lost to Shopify Rebellion, eliminated them from the tournament and their major chances. So they're done. I'm getting word in right now that Genji has clinched number 1 in their group. And yeah, we're just waiting on Furia to find out what goes on there. You see on your screen right now is going to be that's Hitch a Ride. I believe we're watching. Knights Optic, they're 2-1 right now, since you can't see the Optic up 2-1 against the Knights. And reminder, Knights already eliminated, their chances done. And on your left there is the Furia Ghost match tied up.
Ooh, and the equalizer. This is
perfect timing.
It's the worst type of way for for Furia right now.
I mean that's actually grid overtime timing right there. That's perfect.
I like the little look back camera jumping back and forth on that match too, showing the defender just waiting for the shot.
Right?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No.
So let me get this straight here. Ghost and Furia. Furia's in a situation where we've seen a couple teams in this split where they either win this game and go number 1 in the group, or they lose this game and they're out.
Yep.
Wait, can they go?
Number 1 or
G2
number 4?
Well, G2 went. Wouldn't it come down to game differential for the group placement? I'm not sure.
Sure, I'm just repeating Gibbs. So.
Okay. He knows what he's talking about.
If you want to argue with him, go for it.
If only that was my area of expertise.
Yeah, this is good. Oh, this is tense when it comes that close. Imagine being Furia right now. I'm not sure
I
if they
wonder if
understand
they
what's on
know.
the line. Yeah, but I wonder if I don't know. If I'm the coach, I don't tell them. I say just win.
Right.
Oh my
goodness.
Now that's so frustrating if you're Furia right here. You get caught flipping forward, your teammate's going for a challenge, you say, okay, I can get there, and ooh, you get barred down and in with no shot to save it.
Interesting. I wonder.
I mean, I'm sure as everybody else is going wherever they can to look at game differentials and results and try to piece all this together themselves. Meanwhile, there's a game going on that's wildly entertaining for
Forget
a
all of that.
lot of reasons, and it's got a lot of people on pins and needles waiting to see where their team's going to end up, especially Furia fans.
I do believe, as long as nothing changed, Complexity with their win over version 1 have clinched their major spot with their win over version 1. So, hey,
welcome back. It's been a while since we got to see Complexity at a live event.
A reminder, exclamation point tickets if you want to be there and watch them play live.
Oh boy. You hate this if you're a Furia fan. You absolutely hate this. The challenge game is just not going your
I'm
way.
very curious with Jorby's.
Oh no.
Right
He's mad because he already knows someone's gonna say it's the Jorby curl. Oh, they scored! Just kidding.
Okay, go. Yeah, let's listen in. Let's see what Jorby's saying. Let's go.
Furia time! Ghost playing with their hearts out, and Furia, they're meeting them step for step. Both teams trying to make it out of this group. Furia with their major hopes in the balance, and this is just to get to round 1. Just to get to round 1 of the playoffs, but they gotta win this game. Lost. A touch out, and it's taken away. The dunk, but Hoxer's there. Yan has stepped up big time today. He's been that guy, where he may not have really been that guy the last few tournaments. Today, he has been that guy. Card flipping that one up and lost. He's been looking a lot better too. Here he comes. That's a good catch on the reset, but he couldn't get enough power on it, and he dropped it right onto Expert. Money. 50 by Card. Hoxer trying to be speedy, but a pop-up. Money gets bumped. Expert on the 50. Everyone rotating back for Furia, and the midfield boost taken. Lost, hoping he can find a way by Money, but they can't give him space forever. Somebody's got to get this touch. Money just allowed to walk into Furia's box, and Lost gets the touch, but another free touch for Hoxer as they're coming across. Yan, oh, it's another free touch. Everybody on the ground for Furia. They're taken away. Expert gets the catch, and they drop it. Game 5, overtime. Golden goal for the tournament. Card trying to catch them out on the kickoff. They did a couple of times, but now can they build the pressure? Hoxer, he's been the pressure relief for Ghost. Now he picks up a demo. Now he's trying to demo Lost, but Lost barely avoids it. He wins the 50. It's too awkward for Expert. Lost diving forward. He's got Hoxer to beat. He knows it. He flips, but diving for it was Money. Money saving the day. Expert, whoops. Money 50'd out. Hoxer's next up. Lost, is he faster? He at least gets there. Forces Hoxer out of the play. Expert too far back, and oh, he beamed the shot. Card hit it right into him. He's given another freebie off the ramp. Hoxer looking for it. Tension's high right now for Furia. Knowing what's at stake. Knowing what they need. A goal, but they need to find it now. A big bump, and they get the clear, but Ghost respond with a demo. They've held their ground. They've stood up to Furia, and they, every bit, deserve this Game 5 overtime. Lost. Nice catch. Expert. He's beat, but Lost gets bumped. And now a transition for Ghost. Hoxer. Here he comes. It's dangerous. He's going. And Hoxer eliminates Furia from the Winter Invitational. Hoxer absolutely popped off in this series. Incredible series.
Oh man, me and a cheese were back there like, just do it here, just put it there. It felt so close.
That was so sad. Like, they had such a good counterattack opportunity with the one-on-one, and I think he just had no boost, so he couldn't put anything on the flip, and it's like, no.
It felt so close for them stacks. And that counter just shuts them down.
I mean, yeah, it had a double tap lined up. He just barely gets nudged away from the play and then counterattack the other way. And boy, Hawkster has broken a lot of hearts in his career, actually. He's played spoiler a few times. And, oh, boy, you feel bad for Furia. The roster change has not worked out the way they'd hoped.
We have two teams with that now being eliminated. That, of course, being Furia, eliminated from Major, and NRG fans can be happy, but Axel fans not happy. They are also eliminated from their Major with that loss to NRG. So Axel will also be out as things start to tighten up heading towards that winter Major. We do have another round of games to go. We head into our playoff bracket. We get that first round done. Some more best of fives. I'll be after the break, so don't go anywhere as we continue to figure out what the hay is going on here.
You can save an average of 2 times more with our smart savings tools. For everything we want, we're all better off with an ally.
Tries to send one to the back of the net, and he will triple touch. You said the double might work out. How about a triple?
Oh my! This time, fire! Try to clear this away. Landing on with the back. Picked up the save. It's still there for two. They scored! Shaping up to be the game Carmi Court needed. Astral also coming off the ceiling. Oh! He's on a different plane! What was that? He's not real! I really like the adjustment from Nolly. Oh! Yeah, me too, Jeremy. I really like how Nolly's looking. 1-0 Gen G. He's looking real good after that. I would love to see the stats from who has been picking up those pads a little bit more. We'll have to wait and find out, because Bad, he's got some ideas of his own. Composure from the great Canadian. And
The only thing we've been working on between the second regional and the third regional is basically just keeping up the mentality, keeping up the vibes, making sure that we're all happy and we're super confident, and we just bring our all.
It does, but it's not enough! First killer lands the double!
goal.
It's really important to make San Diego. I mean, it's important to make every single one, and we all want to just win the major, so we just want a shot at trying to win the major. Hopefully I can keep on making every single land since I haven't missed one yet.
Because of it. Oh, yes, they can. Typical up high and down hard.
Playing on stage at LANs is very exciting. Can also be very nerve-wracking, but to be fair, it's just super fun. And playing in front of a crowd is an amazing experience.
Killer though with the double. First killer. Oh my God!
I think all these regionals and majors are really important for Worlds, mainly to make Worlds, to qualify for Worlds, and also you want to get a high seed in Worlds so that you have an easier run or a better run to make the finals.
And in large part by First Killer. This one though coming from Myth.
Coming into this next regional, we're super confident, happy. You know, our vibes are super good right now. So we're at least aiming for a top 2, nothing less. I think we deserve to be top 2. And if we play how we normally play, then we'll show it.
First Killer is going to go for the spike
goodness.
goal.
No way!
What? First Killer, what a touch. Typical. Will collect.
Oh, he's so good. Look at this touch from First Killer.
Things are still tense here on day 1 of the North American Invitational. As we come back to the Rocket League Championship Series, I am still Leaf, and Stacks and Achieves here to help me finish off our last matches of day 1 as we head into that playoff bracket. Yeah, Achieves, let's look at the results here just from the last one. But everything's getting pretty, it's still intense. We've eliminated some of the teams. You saw with that loss there Furia out of the major contention.
Devastating. What looked to be a beautiful double tap led to the counterattack that puts the dagger in your winter split hopes. It's tough to see, and G2 kind of closed the door on Space Station a little bit. But Optic, hello! Surprise, surprise, 3-0 their group today.
Yeah, they get to carry on through. It's pretty fantastic for them. Let's look where that all finished off their stacks. As Genji, I think that was probably expected. I think you probably stacks would have said Genji would 3-0. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Everybody who topped the group is exactly who we expected, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
everyone.
Group E. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that Group C though makes a lot of sense.
There.
Because that one was, again, a lot of people looked at that and said, "Hey, this is our group of death achieved." So seeing those results, obviously, except for a flip of Ghost Furia, I feel like it makes sense how tight that was.
Yeah, could have flipped a coin, I think, for pretty much all those ones in that final round 3 when you're trying to figure out how that one was going to go. But Group C was a real Gordian knot that needed to get untangled.
And Group D, I mean, Complexity 3 on it, clinches their spot at the major. It had been over a year that they hadn't been to RLCS lands. That is intense. That's a long time. Yeah. So they're going to be super ecstatic stacks to be back.
Yeah, I'm super happy for them too, because you could tell that there's been a lot of work, and CRR coming over and joining this team was exactly what they needed. Roster changes like that, especially cross-region transfers, they are a huge, huge risk, and a lot of credit to Complexity for taking the steps they needed to take to make it work, even at times when it didn't look like necessarily it was going to go well.
All right, let's look at that bracket, though, because this is where it comes down to. A lot of teams are having their major chances on the line coming into this first round. We do see Genji, Complexity, Optic, and G2 getting their bye. They'll play the quarterfinals tomorrow on day 2. But this first round stacks, what is going on for these teams?
Okay, so FaZe Clan is about the only team that can lose and go, okay, I mean, we might still be fine. Everybody else is really up against it. You look at, especially right in the middle, you've got Dignitas, M80, Space Station Gaming, and NRG all within 4 points of each other. Meanwhile, over on the quarterfinal side, Optic Gaming, just to give their fans a little bit of hope, they cap out at 26 points. Dignitas is on 22 right now. So they need a lot of things to fall their way if they even still have a chance. And just at a glance, it looks like they have a prayer. So we will see. But man, oh man, what a story that would be. But again, everybody's so close to each other. Those 4 teams, Dig, M80, SSG, and NRG, all within 4 points. It's wild.
Well, Cheese, first off, I mean, it's kind of exciting that it's just you got to win, right? Like there's the scenario is win. And if you lose, well, goodbye. That's no major for you. But for G2, they are actually watching this first matchup too, because there's a chance that they're clinching.
Yeah, if version 1 wins against M80, G2 will clinch the major, so they kind of have 2 ways to go about things, of course, which is a little bit nice to give yourself some more options, but there is some solace to be taken from the look. We don't have to sweep, we don't have to do anything like that. It's like, okay, we're in the bracket, just advance to the next stage, don't overthink it.
G2 fans cheering for V1 coming into this matchup, but let's start breaking this one down, because again, everything on the line for these 2 teams. Version 1 facing off against M80. Version 1 with a win will eliminate M80 and also clinch G2 for the major, but M80 with a win will knock V1 out. So Stacks, this is you got to know that these teams are going to be sweating a bit, especially only in a best of 5.
Right, and for version 1, I mean, what a tumultuous story this has been, right? I mean, the near roster move with Rise thinking about coming over from Europe, and the domino effect that would have had, and then to try and salvage anything, try and kind of recover that team chemistry. I've said it a couple times. I think having Torment on that roster, where this happened to him a couple of times with Cloud9, that's going to be invaluable for version 1, because they can rely on that experience to get them through this.
Yeah, this is I think a big thing for Calm right now. I was talking to him not long ago. He said he was a bit of a slump, but now it seems like maybe things are starting to roll back together. But again, with that whole roster thing you mentioned, this is a big moment, I believe, for a player like that to say, no, let's keep driving. Let's keep getting dubs for this team and keep pushing them forward. Again, G2B very much on board with the win from V1. Chat, what are you thinking? Hashtag V1, hashtag M80 in the chat. It's tough because like you like to see that drive from a team like Version 1, but also M80. I think they're pulling in a lot of fans as of recent as Chiefs.
Yeah, you can say they're pulling in a lot of fans, especially after their performance in the previous regional. Everyone was like, "Oh, came out, gave Gen G a run for their money, yo." But then you come out to this one, a little bit of a fall from grace,
Fair.
really dicey group stage, and that's
Okay,
kind
are
of where
you a
you kind
fan?
of wonder. Oh yeah, I definitely like M80, but
Okay.
I think Stax really hit the nail on the head with that one. There's a lot of experience behind Version 1. This is not a situation they're unfamiliar with, and I think that even if I think on a different day I might be willing to take M80 here, but when you got to show up, I know there's a couple of guys on Version 1 that have done it more than a few times, so I think I got to pick them here for me.
Okay, Stax, it sounds like you might be on board with Version 1 then too.
Well, I think there's a lot of experience there, but there's something about this M80 run. It almost feels magical, Cinderella-esque coming through this winter split. I actually kind of feel like Lion Blaze and company get the job done here. I think M80 do pull it off and keep this run going and keep the suspense going just a little bit longer into the weekend.
Okay, this is tricky because I was on the fence, and I think maybe coming in as Version 1, especially with the way M80's playing this weekend, I might edge it to V1. I think he might be right, but I am going to pick M80 as well because I really I want to see this
new kids on the block.
Yeah, I want to see them be a team that continues to show up and bring fans in. Also, I love watching Alpha Cat pop off. So. That's also fun. But yeah, wow, 40%, not too far off, almost down the middle.
I guess we're 40. That's reasonable.
That's not bad. We'll find out. This is elimination from the major. Lots on the line here. Stacks of cheese. Let's have fun.
They are going to be falling like bowling pins through the rest of today. This next half hour, 45 minutes is going to ruin a lot of people's splits and seasons. So let's get underway. I can't wait to see it all happen. As Torment's going to take his time and take a demolition from Lion Blaze. And you can expect a lot of this from both M80 and from mostly Calm, but V1 as a whole.
And V1 really are trying to squeeze quite early. They may actually score right here. Calm, just couldn't quite get all the way over it. Beast Mode as well, not able to follow up. Version 1, very safe stint here early on against this M80 defense, really struggling to get out there and try and take the ball away from him.
Oh, Percy trying to get in Torment's way for a moment. We'll have Kinsey clearing this one away. So important for either of these teams because they do work off a little bit of momentum to get that opening strike. Not just because the stats say so, as Kinsey will make the save falling into his own net, but because of all the pressure that mounts when things start going badly. Version 1 finally has something to kind of build on here. As Beast Mode popped that out to Torment. They've certainly been the aggressors so far. Looking for somebody to pass to here. Torment had Beast Mode across the way. He's going to have to chase that down to the corner. Looking for an opportunity. Going to take this himself. Can stay clear. Calm waiting. And he'll put it home himself.
Just handed it to him. I mean, it's kind of an awkward spot for Kinsey. He's got to go and challenge this flip reset, and unfortunately pulls Lion Blaze off the goal line at the same time with that touch all the way to the backside of the net. So unfortunately, I don't know if it's really a lack of discipline on Lion Blaze's side. It's tough to say that Kinsey's actually going to touch that because it does look like he probably got beat. So in general, that was V1 just slowly increasing the pressure on the clamp that they had on that M80 defensive sector for that whole beginning of the game. We haven't even seen M80 really be on the blue half yet.
There comes a point where you just either have it or you don't. And that is part of the increasing cruelty of any kind of competition. In this case, you have to have it on the day. Now you have to have it in this series. And as this series rolls on, it's going to come down to you need to be at your best in a specific game, or it may even come down to a single goal that makes or breaks an entire season for either of these teams. Kinsey around the boards, over towards Calm. He's got a full tank of boost and a lot of space to work with. Beast Mode will play it further And that's going to be the task now for M80, is trying to stop V1 from getting such free and easy clears.
I mean, V1, Python grip on all the boost on the middle of the pitch and occasionally in those M80 corners. It is hard work to stay with this this version 1 attack, I should say, is the M80 defense. And that is a very welcome breath of fresh air right there, just that clear up the pitch.
Well, they haven't taken that opportunity to get a whole lot of boost. Kinsey and Percy finally got some, as Percy's going to be called into action here. Play this around the boards with Torment trying to read him on the ceiling. And a rather ambitious play results in Calm having to get a couple of touches. And here comes version 1 yet again. Torment can't get around Lion Blaze in the corner. Beast Mode going headhunting, trying to check Kinsey off the wall. Didn't work out. And Kinsey can clear this down. He's got a teammate down there in Percy. We've seen Percy kind of be the unsung hero on a lot of rosters. This play is around the boards. Wonder what his role will be here with Lion Blaze and Kinsey flanking him. Now Percy's got Kinsey downfield again. Can he be the facilitator? No, Calm's in the way. And again, Torment will repel this attack. Version 1 just almost inviting M80 in, waiting for them to maybe get desperate and overextend and beat them with a counterattack over the top.
At the same time, though, M80 is starting to equalize a little bit of that pressure, not really converting any of them into quality scoring chances or really getting the ball into a shooting position, but you'd much rather be battling for the ball in the middle of the pitch and pretty much anywhere else than around your own corners where you're just getting boost starved like you were at the start of the game. So obviously you only got 50 seconds left. You got to start throwing caution to the winds at some point, but has been at least an improvement of where the game is being played as game 1 has gone on for M80.
M80 going to have to start making some high-risk maneuvers here. Down to 34 seconds. And just not having a whole lot of offense. Another clear by Calm. This goes right to Percy. This is their best opportunity. Kinsey gets checked behind the play, though, by Calm, so he can't follow this up as quickly as he would have liked. Came into double commit with Percy. Lion Blaze down to Percy. His shot saved by Calm. It was right down Main Street. Calm not fooled one bit. And Beast Mode will clear this away with 10 seconds left. The final countdown of game 1. M80 trying to rouse some kind of offense at the death of game 1. They will get none after the demolition by Calm. Ball to ground. V1 takes game 1.
Yeah, version 1. Nice job getting out there early. You capitalized when you had the advantage early on. Granted, M80 started kind of push you through their paces towards the end of that game. Version 1 started to run into each other a little bit, but across the board, defense holds up Leaf, and that's all you really need. 1-0 doesn't really matter for them as long as it's a win column.
Yeah, I mean, that's for everybody here. I'm actually just slightly distracted watching a couple of these matches they're about to finish. FaZe is actually only up 1-0 against NRG at the moment, coming into the final 30 seconds. So it's not.
Okay, 1-0 in game 1.
Yeah, 1-0 in game 1, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
None of the games have actually played beside the Dignitas and Space Station one, where Dignitas has actually taken a win off of SSG. So they're up 1-0 against Space Station.
Separated by 1 point, by the way.
Uh-huh.
That's how tight it is right now in this round of 12.
That's what we said. Yeah, besides FaZe, you lose and you're out here. So I'm sure SSG will answer back. And Shopify is actually up 3-0 in that first game against Ghost Gaming right now.
Onward now to Forbidden Temple as the scoreboard watching continues for not the players, I'm sure, but I'm sure there are coaches and managers that are kind of refreshing everywhere, and they've got a whole bunch of streams up watching like, all right, what does this mean for us? What does this mean for us? Again, win your games.
Yep,
you've got nothing to worry about.
it.
That's it. Torment into the corner. V1 trying to do exactly that as this second touch goes all the way across. That sends M80 scrambling a little bit. Now Lion Blaze will stabilize. He's got Kinsey. Couldn't quite connect with Beast Mode putting a hand up as well. Now Percy's going to have a look. And Beast Mode and Calm were there to interfere with the shot.
This is good for M80, though. Nice turnaround from how game 1 started. Definitely picking up right where they left off. A decent amount of pressure over on that V1 side. Calm finally starting to get aggressive in that corner there and try and stall some of that M80 push. But in general, really liking the... Ooh, close call there for Calm. But really liking the picture I'm seeing from M80's offense as game 2 has started.
Lion Blaze will catch here with Percy running underneath to grab that midfield boost. Kinsey will take over. Oh, he tried to pinch, and that's got to be one of the saddest things in all of Rocket League. It almost yielded a goal on the other side, too. You go for that pinch, and then you just bounce off it like a chump, and it just feels oh so bad because everybody saw it.
And sometimes, as you can see, it leads to worse things happening. Kinsey and Lion Blaze both up to make a stop, and version 1 starting to get their hands back on the ball at least a little bit. Kinsey pressuring Calm, and it will pay dividends. Just a little tap as you're going up the wall there. It sent him out to space. Had no shot to save this.
Well, this was the scoreline in game 1. Version 1 took it. This strike from Percy, the first goal for M80 in the series. Gonna have to put in a lot of work to make it stand up, especially here off this ensuing kickoff. Beast Mode back for that corner boost. Torment, good challenge. Follow up there from Beast Mode. Here comes V1, and anytime that guy's on the ball, it is edge of your seat stuff. You never know when he's just gonna strike from out of nowhere. Lion Blaze had to be wary of Torment coming in. Now Beast Mode's second touch, might need another to hit Calm. Oh, the two-man game works, and Beast Mode makes something out of nothing.
Oh, something out of nothing is right. This one got pieced together out of nowhere. Percy's going to be kicking himself for missing that ball because Lion Blaze, obviously, as he's there on the back line, is not thinking he's going to have to play defense. So it kind of looks like he has no idea what he's doing, but just a straight whiff from Percy cost him big time, and nice capitalization again from V1. I don't know how Beast Mode was able to get there and make something out of that.
Calm and Beast Mode both just conjuring a feast out of nothing. Here goes Percy with Lion Blaze up in the air. Couldn't get the read, so Kinsey will take this to the side, and that could be trouble if nobody can scramble back. Percy does. Might need a second touch. He's got it to just dump this back into the V1 end, and everybody will reset. Not for long, though. Calm had it angled downward towards Beast Mode, and Torment's got to rush back. 2-on-1, and Lion Blaze could not get the
Oh, wow.
Kinsey, just a little floater at the end. Oh, M80 are going to be kicking themselves, so they got to feel like they have to come away from that with a goal.
Yeah, it was actually Calm. He kind of gave Kinsey a little push right as he tried to go for that shot, so he didn't have a clean approach on it. That's why it kind of came off soft and didn't look real good. Percy trying his best to get through that V1 defense. Kinsey wanting to buy some time, but no dice as Beast Mode one-on-one on Lion Blaze, and that's an excellent, patient defensive stance from Lion Blaze back there. What a stop.
Well, that is a bold play by Lion Blaze, going for that corner boost when the shot was coming in. That's off the crossbar from Torment. It was as inviting a net as you could ask for, and he missed everything except the bar. Both teams now have a couple of opportunities that they'd love to get mulligans on. Instead, we remain tied with inside a minute and a half.
Ooh. Clever little idea there from Calm, looking to see if he could make the defense think he mistouched it, then get that surprise second touch back around the wall. M80 not fooled, though. This is great pressure from V1. Got to be careful, though. Kind of seen them overextend just a little bit in that third man spot, as again, Lion Blaze all over it on the defensive side. Just takes one good clear, and that was it. But again, Calm not able to really get all the way around the ball. V1 pressing nicely. Do they give up a strong counterattack?
Percy just got knocked into next week trying to come off that back wall. That was real scary for M80, but they again escape unscathed. 40 seconds remain. Kinsey in a real awkward spot with Torment breathing down his neck, and he somehow managed to get around 2. Only one more to beat.
Oh, wow.
Beast Mode forces him to the corner.
Kinsey making something out of nothing on his own as well. He had a bad read on the ball, and everyone from V1 just figured he would give it up. Dead wrong they were, as Beast Mode wisely controlling the ball. M80, now they're the ones getting a lot of boost steals over on this V1 side. Got to be careful. That physicality will help open up some breathing room for version 1 as regulation winds down.
That ball was given to Lion Blaze. Beast Mode going to try and stall here. Version 1 surely want this to go to overtime, but Kinsey has other plans. He's run out of juice, and will go to overtime in game 2. Not a lot of offense, but plenty of opportunities, as these two teams somebody is going to have some regrets at the end of this, and they're only going to have a minute to get over it. And that might be V1, but Calm's got the save strafing across, and Beast Mode makes sure Percy can't run onto one.
Great support from V1 on defense again, but M80 definitely seeming to have found their feet here. That is a big overcommit in the corner. Percy so close to being in the clearing lane. Beast Mode will find a seam, and mercifully for M80, it is wide. Had to hold your breath for a moment there. Calm looking for the pass. The Torment actually gets away, and that one's kicked around off the post. We're going to play a little pinball, and M80 will stay alive.
Boy, M80 is playing with fire, but they get the clear. And now everybody's got to get boosted up. They got 12 boosts between all three players. And now Torment couldn't get onto a shot. Boy, if he could have put a laser towards the net, this game's over. Instead, here comes M80 with new life. That goes right to Kinsey. Hard to the backboard. Calm missed on it. Percy got a look. And he just floats one there for Torment to clear away. And he is not going to misplay this at all. So again, M80 had their chances. Could not take their shot. Kinsey deflected by Beast Mode. Downfield, B Mode trying to get around the corner, and Lion Blaze has it near the mark, and Torment had to deal with it.
Love that clear from Lion Blaze, forcing version 1 to stay honest. He knows there's not a lot of chance that it actually goes in, but that does kind of make version 1 think twice about pushing up a little too hard, because maybe you get another one of those ripped up the field, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him give a little more space as Torment makes a great save across his net, and M80 pressing now.
Oh, Torment. What? Get a piece, doesn't matter. Beast Mode. Another act of wizardry as he scored an overtime winner to give V1 a 2-0 series lead.
Kinsey and Lion Blaze really trying to figure that one out. The unfortunate reality is Kinsey's actually the one that needs to cut in there and challenge that, but that looked like a big communication issue from M80 right there, because Lion Blaze definitely saying, you know, I'm back, I'm behind you, or something along those lines. And Kinsey thinking, yeah, but it got through my teammate. And then he's like, okay, if you're back there, I'll let you take it. And Lion Blaze being so deep back is thinking, I mean, yeah, I'm behind you, but I'm not really ready to go. But now that I see you're not going, I kind of have to. And then they just get beat on a, honestly, it's not even that strong of a transition. M80 had all the pieces in place right here, and Beast Mode just scores a freebie. Like that's an ugly one to give up.
Yeah, that hurts. I'm watching again all the streams. Alpha Cap did a very disappointed lean back in his chair because that hurts if you're M80. I mean, again, especially knowing what's on the line for all these teams. NRG probably feeling the same thing right now as FaZe Clan is up 2-0 against them. They're heading into game 3 right now, but they're looking like the stronger team. So NRG fans might be a little shaky right now. Space Station and Dignitas are tied 1-1. With Space Station, I told you they wouldn't let that first Dignitas win go easily or go quietly, and they are up 2-0 in the next game here, and Shopify still up 1 over Ghost.
Version 1 and FaZe fans both hoping for the sweep here. FaZe would clinch the major if they can beat NRG, and if Version 1 completes this victory over M80. Still a lot of work to do, though. Game 3 on DFH Stadium. That third win, that last win, when so much is on the line, is often the toughest to secure. M80, got to throw it all at Version 1. They have out of the gates so far, as Lion Blaze will make the stop at midfield. Beast Mode's back into the play. Calm was there, but Percy just got there.
Calm trying to hit the juicy redirect as Torment just aiming for that top corner. See if maybe he could squeeze it into a small gap, and nice seam to find for Lion Blaze. Kinsey as well, dishing it back. Okay, M80, it should be free. Percy kind of fluffs it. Granted, it wasn't as free quite as I thought. He did have a bit of an awkward line. There was a defender. He will recover. It's a hang on. I still got it. Don't worry.
Simulated danger only for entertainment purposes. That's all that was. Percy's just trying to put on a little show here, make it interesting. And on behalf of all of your fans, Percy, don't do that again. Just put it in the net.
We'll save everyone a lot of trouble, that's for sure.
Right. Psyonix and Epic Games are not responsible for any heart attacks suffered by M80 fans. Here goes Lion Blaze from the wing. And nothing behind that as Beast Mode just pounds it downfield. This could be dangerous now for M80 because version 1 have capitalized on a couple second and third chance opportunities. Beast Mode still lingering around in the play, and that fell almost right into his lap. Torment able to get to this. And that demolition from Percy may be consequential. We'll find out. Percy still whiffed on this, though, and finally they clear the zone, if only for a moment.
Version 1 really trying to activate the Gen G offensive playbook right there with some misdirection, but the thing is it doesn't feel like version 1 quite used to operating under that play style, and while they did have a few opportunities to get through that M80 defense, they didn't have the right pieces in place to actually capitalize off it, so M80 gets out of a jam. Maybe he finds 2 here, but right now, again, a version 1 defense, it's been stingy all day against M80, so I don't think you're really going to find too much for free.
I like the idea, though, for Lion Blaze there, going for the indirect pass off the ceiling, just trying to get it down to Percy as quick as possible. Didn't yield a goal this time, but at least kept the pressure on for a few extra seconds, and that could be vital as we continue on here. It's a long road ahead for M80. Like to keep us here as long as they possibly could, as Calm's going to circle around on this. He's got Beast Mode waiting for a loose ball to come out, and instead it's Lion Blaze bopping it away. Kinsei towards the back wall, trying to change the angles a little bit for V1. And what a win by Torment. That just threw a wrench into all of M80's plans. Could yield a goal. Beast Mode against
Someone's
2.
got to pump that, right?
Right? You almost fancy Beast Mode to actually score from that position, even though it looked impossible.
And that's an awkward ball back as well. Version 1 feels like there's definitely good things happening, but no one really ready to jump all over it. Like you said, I mean, Beast Mode wins some massive challenges over M80 players, and just no one is there to rip one on target. And you really need one, you'd like to just get yourselves out of this, because last thing I want to do is give a team like M80 any type of outs, because as you saw in the last regional, they don't mess around. You give them anything to bite onto, and they're not going to let go.
Beast Mode did not line up the double. That falls right to Torment. M80 have not done a great job of keeping possession defensively, but what a save by Percy. Can they stop Beast Mode? Didn't need to. And Lion Blaze comes from inside the goal to send that ball away. Kinsei trying to keep possession now on the V1 half, and again, Calm gets one close enough to the net. Then M80's got to sweat a little bit. Okay, Beast Mode, calm down. Oh,
really
down
for
Torment. Can he score on his own? No, it's pushed wide.
I think he was actually trying to pass the ball to Beast Mode, who was diving out of that one, and now version 1 trying a slightly different approach when they get that ball in the corner, trying to slow up pace of play and see if they can draw out some defenders and open up a gap that way.
Oh, Kinsei's got one lined up, but Torment, easy save. More importantly, Beast Mode happens to be right over there. Down to 27 seconds. Can V1 finish the job here in their first closeout opportunity, get to the top 8? Or does M80 still have some life? And does the slipper still fit? It is Lion Blaze to the corner. They're under immense pressure now, trying to cap off a 1-0 victory to stay alive in Game 3. Calm, headhunting, finding nobody. Big clear by Lion Blaze and Kinsei. No time on the clock.
Yeah.
Lion Blaze will put it away, and we'll see a 4th game.
Yeah, Beast Mode kind of rocking a hard place here. He's thinking, I'm just going to secure this corner boost in case I get the ball, to make sure I have enough to actually start a counterattack. Lion Blaze jumped all over him, though. Knew that it was going to allow too much space, and a beautiful shot to close out Game 3. M80 not quite out of it yet. Nice recovery here. And if you're version 1, kind of got to shake your head a little bit. You had a lot of good opportunities. 6 shots there, and it felt like 2 or 3 of them probably could have been ripped on target. But, I mean, if you think about all, I'm not even sure if those actually counted as shots on net. You know, you think about all those chances when they could have had something, and it just never bore any fruit. And then the rest of their shots were just like, okay, yeah, M80's there.
Well, there was a high performance. Brought to you by Mobile One there on the replay, with M80 getting the job done in Game 3. They stay alive, and now, Leaf, things start to heat up just a little bit more as we get deeper into the round.
Yeah, this is where things start to look feisty. I want to just get everyone to press F in chat in about 15 seconds. we're going to see NRG eliminated because it's 5-1. There's no way they're coming back. So,
Goodbye.
so if we get those in chat, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, throw them in now. NRG out, eliminated. FaZe Clan will move on to face Gen G tomorrow in the bracket. And NRG will have to look to the future, to the next split. Space Station over Dignitas right now. They're tied 0-0 in this fourth game, but it is 2-1 match point for Space Station. Shopify is up 2 goals against Ghost Gaming, and they're up 2-0 in the series. So looks like Ghost might be eliminated in about a minute 40.
And to correct what we said earlier, with that win, FaZe is in. They don't care what happens to V1 at this point. So all that talk about V1 completing the win over M80, now you don't have anybody to play for but yourself. Feel free to let this go to game 5 and give us a real show. Torment has that go out to the corner. There's Calm waiting, and Percy out to meet him as he cuts down the angle.
I love the decisiveness from Percy there in the net. I mean, if you're the guy on the goal line right there and you see 3 players coming at you, don't even think about it. Go and try and make the save. Don't sit there and think, oh, what if they pass it? Because odds are you're just going to get in your own head and you're going to beat yourself. So way to go out there, take that one away. Huge save.
All Calm slips one by Percy. Beast Mode trying to get in Lion Blaze's way, but Lion Blaze dances around him and gets to the backboard to make the stop. Percy up against Torment now. It's just a little bit of difference of experience in the RLCS there. As Calm now trying to dance around Kinsey. He's got this over Lion Blaze, but there's Percy for the stop. But version 1 applying a lot of pressure. Lion Blaze bumps down to the ground. He got stomped on, and Calm finished the job.
A matter of don't overcomplicate it. You've won the challenge through the corner. Just make sure it's as easy as possible for your teammate. Beast Mode says, Lion Blaze, you've been a problem for far too long. Please excuse us as we score.
So 1-0 to version 1. The second closeout opportunity to take down M80. Knock them out of major contention and keep their hopes alive. Kinsey racing to the corner boost. He's also going to be called on to stop Torment. Had to put the brakes on, and Calm will score again. Version 1, just the threat of physicality is enough.
Yeah, Kinsey, that's actually the right play there. You know you can't actually go and challenge there. And look, Lion Blaze again getting a big piece taken out of him on the goal line, trying to play support there. Torment just that perfect heads-up catch in the corner, cutting that out into the midfield instead of trying to force it around the sidewall. Veteran play from Torment. Great pass.
I mean, you're certain it's not a specific plan to target Lion Blaze, but he's been the victim of circumstance. He got hit there on the back wall again. As this goes to the backboard, Lion Blaze into the net, and he just barely made the save. And he went as far into the net as he could, so nobody could actually hit him, and then just barely kept it out from the goal line. First, he tried to drop one down towards Lion Blaze. Kinsey was also there, but nobody touched it. Here comes version 1, and Beast Mode on the wrong side.
Kinsey had to give up his corner boost to make sure that one got to safety. Lion Blaze doing his best to start the counterattack, and to be honest, you'd like it to start pretty soon here if you're M80, because you know version 1's played some tough defense against you all series long, and you would like to give yourself a lot of time to have to only find one. You start getting under a minute, they start to deflate, lose a little bit of hope there, and fire might go out if it goes on too long without putting one in the back.
Simultaneous demos from Calm and Kinsey against different players. Here goes Percy. He's got a double lined up, and he'll score! Despite the block, Percy comes through clutch.
Well, you wanted to score early, you found it. I mean, Percy just got up early, said, Lion Blaze, give me the juice. Here it comes, and the way to track it down. You said unsung hero. Well, give him some praise. Great shot.
They're going to be singing his praises for a while if M80 can pull this off. He's got 3 goals now, 3 out of the 4 that M80 have scored in this series. The only other one was that 1 goal from Lion Blaze last game. Hard off the backboard here, too strong as Percy can't get to it, so Lion Blaze is all the way back with Torment breathing down his neck. And that demo from Kinsey helps a much needed demo there. And this still goes to the corner. Physical play on both sides. Really threatening to turn this game and series, and for these teams, even their seasons, on their heads. Off the back wall here, Beast Mode's got it. And second touch will come from Calm. That is a very awkward double commit. M80 didn't do much better at the back. Lionblaze and Kinsey got tied up. There's Percy to kind of settle things down.
Okay.
And Kinsey can keep the attack alive down to a minute 20. Lionblaze has to have this, and he does.
Yeah, unfortunately got pushed away off that ball again. That physicality on, unfortunately, explicitly Lionblaze has caused a lot of headaches for M80 here in this game 4, but it does feel like there's kind of been that second win from that M80 goal. They're trying to push really hard. Feels like they've got a decent spread of the pitch. Now it's just a matter, can you make something happen? Lionblaze, be careful. You don't want to take one away from your teammates that's already there. Here's where experience pays off for V1. You're not going to make a silly mistake. And you got to watch out for that if you're M80.
Percy, kind of an aggressive play, went for the corner boost deep in V1 territory, and he's still back to catch this ball. He's around Torment. Beast mode with the stop, and this goes right back into the M80 half. Down to 25 seconds. You can see a lot more of that now with M80. Their season, or their split at least, on the line. Percy down to Kinsey, and it's wide. Deflected by Beast Mode. Now Lionblaze stopped by Torment, but it caught a second touch towards Calm. Down to 12 seconds.
Okay.
Kinsey.
Ooh, not the touch.
For himself indirect. Lionblaze gets bumped by Calm. It's been a theme in this series. And now it's all on Kinsey. To the wall, right at Beast Mode, and it dies there. Version 1, stay alive in 4.
Oh, M80. They had it in a decent enough spot, but they just could not get that ball up towards the backboard or into the middle. They just jammed it in that corner, couldn't get it unstuck. And Version 1 get the job done. No free wins. Version 1 trying to make them earn it.
Clock ran out on him, and the clock has struck midnight on M80 here in the winter split. They gave it one heck of a run, but this is where the road ends as Version 1 stays alive and keeps their hopes for San Diego intactly.
That's for sure. And with that win, G2 clinching their major spot as well. We have 4 teams in now. FaZe, Gen G, G2, and Complexity. That 5th spot will be open. And right now, again, elimination on the line. Yeah, Game 5, Space Station, Dignitas. Why don't we see what the casters are thinking down on the field? Let's head down.
How impactful was Mr. Nolan? It's King Andy. That's King Andy right there.
Sir Nolan versus Daniel. You'd bet on Daniel every time.
Baby.
Not today. Tim put it in. We've got the lead. Half the game left to play. No kickoff goals. No kickoff goals. Come on, hold on.
No kickoff goals. Focus here. Focus on this dang 50-50. That's 2 players on the kickoff. What are they doing?
They went for a
Why did it work?
kickoff?
What is going on? Okay, we won the 50.
Fine.
That was terrifying. Why did 2 people from Space Station Gaming go for the kickoff?
The bot kickoff. Oh,
They're
they're
panicking.
airballing.
They're panicking.
Airballing. Is it in? It's in! Hold the line!
Hold the door! Look at the hype. Look at the reactions. Everybody from Dignitas knows what's on the line. Dig win, dig win, dig win, dig win. Bottom bar guy knows what's up. We know what's up. Evo knows what's up. All 3 on the board. All 3 looking fresh. Kickoff in our favor. 2 minutes remaining. 120 seconds.
Chat, whatever superstitions you've been doing, keep doing them. It's working.
Don't wash your socks. Whatever you do, don't put your nasty, unsanitized socks in the wash. Keep them on your toes.
Keep eating those raisin and Cheerio sandwiches.
Here we go.
So for the box. For another hole.
That's double commit. That's double commit. That's double commit.
Back. Oh, we're gonna be all right.
Okay.
We're gonna be all right.
Oh,
let's go,
Andy.
Brilliant.
King Nolan. That's a King Nolan 50-50 right there. 2 commit. You still win the challenge, but it's off the ceiling. Somebody has to challenge
Let's go.
early. We're there.
This is huge. We keep this at 2 goals. It's over.
This is massive. We got the security. We won the challenge as well. More 50-50s and on the ceiling. Come on.
They got to commit though, right? Oh. They're looking for bumps. They're not going to find him. Andy flying like a god right now, like a peregrine falcon, dipping, dodging, diving, and blocking everything. Drees into the corner. Final minute.
Here we go. Keep the communication up. Spread the field. No double commits. It could be the end of us. That's a bump from Arsenal. And the goal, it slips in. Okay. Arsenal toying with us in the defensive side. This is what we have to worry about.
Not to give him a compliment, that was actually a really cool play.
Wow.
But 45 seconds left. All that
By
matters.
himself.
All that matters is holding the line.
And we knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew it wasn't going to be easy against Space Station Gaming. They're going to fight every single second. No matter what the scoreline is, they're going to give it all they've got. And now we're going to have to play what could potentially be the most important sequence of defense.
Oh no.
Yet.
Daniel in the corner.
Off
He
the
misses.
post. The follow-up.
LJ is going to hit it. It ain't going to be easy.
Oh, it's not going to be easy.
25 seconds.
Oh no. We're getting bumped. We're panicking, but it's okay. We need to remain calm. This is not looking ideal.
It's fine.
But we had the security wave, Punk.
It's fine. The ascension begins now. Evo up for it. Okay. And Daniel has a free shot, and he missed.
We're good. We're good.
Dude, Daniel is quaking in his boots.
Dude, Daniel, I think his bangs might have cut off the angle from the shot.
Don't
Something
go overtime.
happened.
Come on, Drees. Finish it now, Drees. Passes to Evo. It's on target. Daniel actually touches the ball finally. It's back around. Too high. Arsenal's got to... Oh, is he going to play this? Oh, no.
Losing it.
Oh, no.
No, it's on the ground. Okay.
Okay, we're fine. We're fine.
Focus on the kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. This could be everything.
Next
One
goal,
challenge.
genuinely,
Big cheat.
more or less, is San Diego. If you
The bracket
concede,
has-
you're out.
It's unfolded in such an ideal way for whoever goes on to win this series. It's not a guaranteed San Diego placement, but my goodness, are your chances looking magnificent. We had the lead, we had the security, we gave it up. But the series isn't over yet. Oh no. Oh my goodness.
You nearly cursed it so bad. Evo down the field. Oh, come on, Dan. Trees.
Oh no, we're panicking. We're
both
freaking
hang
out.
back. That was
we're
close.
freaking out, Wave Punk.
Through one.
We're hesitating. Dude, I'm hesitating. I'm scared.
No hesitation, no fear, just fight. Move forward. Here's Andy.
Dude, I can't
Through
take
one.
this.
Bumped off it. Arsenal wins the challenge. It's into the corner. 1v1 here. Drees trying to rotate in. He's going to cut the rotation.
There's so much pressure.
Comes to the corner.
We need a clear.
I need a hero. LJ puts it too high. Double commit. Not actually double commit. Just Daniel up really quick. Drees down the field. First minute going to come and go. Oh, man.
I'm
Andy's
hydrating.
up for it, but he's low. Arsenal's off. LJ's off. Daniel not in place. He's going to fly for this one. Does he have the boost? He's looking for the reset.
Oh,
it's high
over.
again. Nobody can shoot. Everybody's nervous.
Somebody's got to overcommit. There is so much pressure from Space Station Gaming. We've held on. Defense looking good.
Oh, wow.
One transition, one quick string of passes
Let's
down
go.
the other side.
Oh.
That could be what ends it all. And what sends Space Station Gaming home.
You got boost. Arsenal is on target, but Drees is back.
We're good.
Daniel cannot win a challenge right now.
It's
It's on
the
target!
demo!
It's in! We're going, baby! Space Station grounded! Put him in the gurn! I can't speak English!
Put him in the gurn! Moving on to the quarterfinals.
In the dirt or something.
Dignitas. That's not a guaranteed San Diego confirmation, but like we said, the vibes, the odds, it's all in our favor. Moving on, quarterfinals, baby. Woo!
Let us on a crazy ride there, huh?
Wave Punk the turtle, sending it.
That's something.
I gotta say, some of the best times was with Gibbs working on that dig broadcast. They love to have fun over there. So yeah, when we're doing these events and they're broadcasting, check them out. Make sure you're over there watching those matchups. But yeah, no, wow, Space Station gone. They're done. That's quite the result there, Chiefs.
Is tragic if you're a Space Station fan. You felt like you should have won in that overtime like 4 or 5 times. But what can you do? You make the saves and then, haha, there's a demo. Dig took a big risk, went all the way to the opposite end of the field, grabbed some boost, and found a demo at just the right time. So tip your cap if you're Space Station, I guess. Frustrating, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, well, with that's the end of the round. If we just take, a glance back at everything here, it's version 1. Again, taking down M80 and Shopify pushing through Dignitas FaZe Clan. But here, look at how they got there. We start with our groups stacks, and we had a couple teams that we'd expect to top their matches. Complexity with their win earlier clinched themselves into that major, but Optic again giving us a bit of a performance.
Yeah, Optic are hanging on for dear life. That win by Dignitas, I think, puts them on 25. And Optic, if they win this whole darn thing, can still get to 26 points. So there's still life. Spaceman, there's still life. I promise,
really need complexity tomorrow if you're Optic.
Yeah, they're on life support.
Yeah, and looking at the bracket now, as I just said, we had our 4 teams pushing through FaZe 3-0 over NRG, eliminating them. Dignitas eliminating Space Station with that 3-2. Shopify 3-0 over Ghost Gaming, and version 1 a 3-1 over M80, which also achieves clinched G2 into the major.
Yes, G2, as I said earlier, when the chips are down, they show up, they put on a great show today, and they earned a spot, I will say, with the round 1 bye. And version 1, they looked good, got the job done against a feisty M80 who really put them through their paces, but that'll be an interesting match tomorrow, to say the least.
Well, yeah, with all these teams open again, Rebellion also being in the running, V1-2 stacks. It is tight going into the bracket tomorrow.
If you are these teams down in the teens or even below, like Optic, Rebellion, and version 1, that's exactly the half of the bracket you want to be on. You don't have to look at Gen G or FaZe or Complexity until the finals, but I'm sure they would like the opportunity to maybe knock Dignitas out and stop them from getting so many darn points, but they'll have to rely on Complexity.
Well, let's look at them. Let's see where that is right now.
Right.
As I said, it's tight right now. Coming into this third regional, the Invitational for North America in the winter split, as all these teams trying to get their way into that major. Again, we have a few teams that have clinched stacks. We got Gen G, Complexity, FaZe, and G2, but it's that 5th spot that's wide open there.
Yeah, and for the rest of this event, there are 12 points on the line that these teams can gain now, because they're sitting on 8 for this event. That board right there takes those points into account. Total of 20 for winning the event. That's realistically what some of these teams need, especially if Dignitas keeps winning. So, yeah, it's going to come right down to the wire. It may even come down to Championship Sunday, the way it should be, by God.
Okay, well, Cheese, let's quick theory craft before we go here today, because obviously some of these teams need a win, but you look at who's at the top there, and that's the chances very slim when you got a Gen G in your way for the most part. But do you have any prediction of who you might think snake out that 5th spot, looking at maybe the run that they have to take here to be able to get a win?
Well, let's see. The only teams that can actually make it that are outside currently, Shopify? No, I don't think
Shopify is also in the running. Shopify,
V1,
Optic,
Rebellion,
V1,
Optic.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess the most likely ones out of that are, likely version 1, simply because they have more points, but I guess that doesn't really make a difference. It really comes down to if you want to choose V1 or Optic. I think they realistically have the best shot, because I think you have to assume G2 obviously already clinched.
I'm assuming you're saying outside of Dig.
Yeah, outside of Dig.
Okay,
right?
okay.
If you're not going to pick Dig, because here's the problem. Dignitas is on the top side of the bracket. They're on the same side as Complexity, FaZe, and Gen G. So let's say they beat Complexity, well, they likely get bounced out by Gen G or FaZe, right? So I guess if Dignitas wins over Complexity, then it's pretty much done and dusted, barring Optic or V1 win, right? Even then,
I think if Dignitas win tomorrow, then the only team that even has a chance at catching them
is V1.
Would be V1, because they would go above Shopify, Rebellion, and Optic's ceiling. So
so I guess V1 is really the only choice you can pick.
That's a tough matchup with Complexity, and down in the bottom half. I mean, you're really looking at G2 on the other side, who will have already clinched as well as Complexity. So I don't know. I those teams down in the bottom half of the bracket, I think, have a lot more cause for optimism than it may look like when you look at the standings right now.
Well, here's your matchups for tomorrow, and the fact that we were able to just talk and converse that much about it shows how exciting the storylines are going in to the rest of this week when leading up to that San Diego major for the winter split, because there are so many potential timelines that can happen depending on what teams are winning tomorrow. We start off with version 1 and G2 Esports. We finish with that Gen G FaZe Clan match. Both those teams clinched, so that's just going to be a fantastic game of Rocket League. But yeah, some of these other teams, we said it, version 1, Optic, Dignitas, Rebellion, these guys are all really looking for dubs tomorrow as we lead up to that major. And speaking of leading up to that major, there's something you can do to help us get one step closer to an amazing event, and it's buy your tickets. Exclamation point tickets in chat. Because if you're not there, it's not exciting. So you have to
It's a lot
there.
less fun if no one shows up.
Yeah, very true. We need people doing the as it comes down to 0 seconds and the ball's in the air. We need those cheers, right? We need that going on. So get your tickets, exclamation point tickets in chat, or just head over to rl.gg/winter major tickets live to buy your tickets to join us in for San Diego for this winter split major. But now that we come to the end of day 1 here, this is exciting. I am very looking forward to tomorrow. Let's get your thoughts on it as we head out here cheesing the stacks.
Good luck, Dignitas. I think you're in the best spot you could be, and you got one more game to get through.
For that bottom half of the bracket, actually, more importantly, complexity, take care of business. Let's make Sunday really, really fun. And that also means G2, don't crush whoever comes out of that Optic and Rebellion match. I wanted to come right down to the grand finals, do or die for the spot in San Diego. And I think there are about tens of thousands of others that are watching right now that would love nothing less than the same.
Well, we'll see if Stax' wish comes true tomorrow. We do have kickoff again at 1 o'clock. Join us for the pre-show, though, at 12:30 Eastern time. But yeah, I got to say, if you're a fan of Rocket League, sometimes brackets can be boring. Sometimes they're exciting, and this is one of those moments. They are very exciting heading into the weekend. Lots of implications on the line. So many teams just do or die throughout the rest of this bracket. You're not going to want to miss some exciting Rocket League here in the North American region, so please join us tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Before school's gotta get worse, and sometimes it's gonna hurt. If you're ever gonna get that bad, then you better plan your attack. You're braver than you know it. You're stronger than you show it. You're braver than you know
so with Kinsey, sends one to the backboard, tries to send one to the back of the net, and he will triple touch. You said the double might work out. How about a triple?
Oh my! This time, Fire tries to clear this away. Landing on the foot of Anthony. Picked up the steam. It's still there for Jimbo. He scored! Shaping up to be the game Carmine Court needed. Joyo off kickoff. Astral also coming off the ceiling. Oh! He's on a different plane! What was that? He's not real! I really like the adjustment from Nolly. Oh! Yeah, me too, Johnny. I really like how Nolly's looking. 1-0 Genji. He's looking real good after that.
I would love to see the staff who has been picking up those pads a little bit more. We'll have to wait and find out because Dad, he's got some ideas of his own. Composure from the great Canadian. And it's
colder, when you're frozen over like I am.